हाँ जी दोस्तों, क्या हाल है? गुड मॉर्निंग गाइस, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड मॉर्निंग। हाउ आर यू ऑल डूइंग? क्या हाल है? हाय प्रिशा, हाय अंकित, हाय राघवन, आफरीन, मेमन, आयुष। गुड मॉर्निंग गाइस, गुड मॉर्निंग। चलो, कौन कौन उठ गया है? हु ऑल आर अवेक? कम ऑन, से गुड मॉर्निंग। कम ऑन, कम ऑन, इट्स अ वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग। कम ऑन, से। I want to see how many of you are here. Good morning guys, good morning. Sir, PPT, what PPT? Today's notes are also updated on ICI's portal. I just updated it 2 minutes ago. Okay, so you can go and find it there. First things first, it's morning 7 o'clock. How many of you are up? How many of you are up? You know how sorted your life is? Do you know how sorted your life is? For those people who wake up in the morning, there is a class in the morning. For those people who do not wake up in the morning, say, let's say they wake up at 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock, this video goes live on YouTube and it remains on YouTube. So you can watch later from YouTube also. And whenever you want, you can be done with it. Before COVID, you used to go to physical classes. The classes used to start at 7 a.m. in the morning and used to continue till evening. And boss, your teacher would not let you not attend the class, okay? So that time you didn't have an option to watch the backup later on, 1.5x, 2x, sleeping, not sleeping. No, you'll have to go to the class. But anyway, Kiran is saying, no, Kiran, no. Shivam is saying, sir, request you to take session of chapter 9 and 10. You'll have to request to ICI. It's not in my hand. Okay. Chalo guys, very good morning. Very good morning. Guys, today we are going to read the most important chapter. And this chapter is not only important from exam point of view said definitely important hai, but this chapter is extremely important from practical point of view also. Very important. Dividend. Who all knows what is dividend? Don't answer me. Do you know yes or no? That's all I want to know. Do you know what is a dividend? Do you know what is a dividend? Yes or no? Okay, I want to show you some things. Okay, do you see this email? Very sensitive item, sir. Very sensitive item, very private things. Okay, something very interesting to make you all wake up. Listen to me very carefully. बहुत चीजें इतनी प्रैक्टिकल चीज नहीं दिखेगी आपको. Listen to me very carefully. This is my email and I have received an email from Hindustan Unilever Limited, HUL. HUL says that, dear Shubham Singhal, portfolio number, which I was not supposed to show. It shows that we are happy to inform you that the board of director at their meeting held on. Do you see I'm reading something which is on the right side? Do you see my screen? The board of director, we are happy to inform you that at the meeting held on 27th April 2022 has declared a final dividend of rupees 19 per equity share of face value rupees 1 each for the financial year ended 31st March 2022. For a financial year ended 31st March 2032, they have declared 19 rupees per equity share final dividend. They have written a word final dividend. The final dividend subject to the approval of the members at the annual general meeting to be held on Thursday 23rd June 2022. Guys, सुबह का समय है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इंपॉर्टेंट ना होता तो आपको नहीं दिखाता. This email has been received on May, which says that on 27th of April, board of directors meeting happened. In that meeting, they approved a final dividend subject to approval of shareholders in the AGM. And when is the AGM? It is held on 23rd June 2022, will be paid on or after 27 June 2022. So they're saying board meeting happened, something was approved, final dividend. then it came to shareholders, shareholder will approve, and then it will be paid to you. Okay. Now, after that, they are asking for TDS certificate, whether or not they want to deduct the TDS. Uske baad, I received a mail, a different email on this particular date, which is what? This is May 2028. I received an email. Dear Shubham Singhal, we are pleased to share with you the notice of 89th AGM and the integrated annual report for this financial year. You are cordially invited to attend the AGM to be held on Thursday, 23rd June. तो सर ये AGM का invitation है, सबको आता है क्या? Does everyone receive it? No, only shareholders receive it. Okay. Now, do you see final dividend detail? Do you see final dividend detail here? Proposed final dividend 19 per share. Cut-off date for eligibility of dividend 16th June. Date for payment of dividend 27th June. And then last date for submission of tax exemption form and something. So basically what happened? Then they are inviting the shareholders to come to the AGM and decide whether the 19 rupees per equity share that the board has approved, whether we pay it or not. Then this AGM happened, sir. In this AGM, resolution was passed that yes, dividend has to be given. And after that, I received this message in my bank account. Surprise, surprise, surprise. This amount was credited when? This amount was credited yesterday evening. भाई इससे latest example क्या हो सकता है? Yesterday evening, 5 o'clock, amount got credited to my account saying that 380 rupees has been credited to your account as a dividend. Now you'll calculate how many shares sir holds. Okay, how much amount did sir invest? I invested in HUL long time ago. Okay, what is the point of all these things, sir? Point is that something real money is happening in practical life. कुछ practical हो रहा है जिसके बारे में today we will be reading theory. Okay, now my question again to you. Lot of people said that they know what dividend is. I want to hear from people who don't know what dividend is. I want to hear from people who don't know what dividend is. Come on. So that I understand how much to, get into that basic concept, or should we level up? Tell me, come on, tell me. बोलो कुछ तो बोलो, मुंह तो खोलो. सर यू हैव 20 इक्विटी शेयर्स. हाँ, तुम मैथ्स कर लो बस. Tell me, come on. Okay, seems like everyone knows what dividend is. Okay, so we will get started. Sir, dividend is basically distribution of profit. I'll tell you something. When you read this chapter or when you read related concept in your accounts, you will have a lot of questions as to here, why is this happening? How is this happening? How is the market price getting changed? And you will have so many questions. Just feel free to let the questions come out. Okay, just feel free to think, because the more you think, the more you understand this concept. Okay, so what is dividend? Dividend is distributable profit. Please understand the situation, or sir, a basic situation. If myself, Shubham, and all of us, 6 other people, we started a company. Okay, now in this company, what we did was, all of us invested some amount, and in total we invested 10 lakh rupees. So now we have 10 lakh rupees with us. We invested 10 lakh rupees in the company. What we did with this 10 lakh rupees was, with this 10 lakh rupees, we went and bought some masks. Masks aata hai na? We saw, array, COVID is coming, and COVID 3rd, 5th wave, 6th wave, I don't know which wave are we counting right now. That wave is coming, and in that wave we want to invest we want to sell masks. So you buy masks of 10 lakh rupees, and then gradually in this year you sell this mask for 12 lakh rupees. So you bought something for 10. First you invested 10 lakh, you bought something for that 10 lakh, you sold it for 2 lakhs. How much profit did you make, sir? You made a profit of 2 lakh rupees. Very basic, sir. Very basic. You made a profit of 2 lakh rupees. Now what happened was, all of us were sitting one day, we were sitting with like 2 lakh रुपए कमा लिए. क्या करें इसका? Antilia खरीद ले. Should we buy Mukesh Ambani's house? नहीं, थोड़ा ज्यादा जल्दी हो जाएगा, थोड़ा और करना पड़ेगा मेहनत. So what should we do with this 2 lakh rupees? There are two options that you have. The two option is that you distribute it to your shareholders. You distribute to your shareholders. ले जाओ घर खर्च कर दो. Or the दूसरा option is that you invest this money again and you grow this money. Okay. So initially when a company is running, when a company starts, all the profit that it makes I'm talking usually gets invested in making future profits. Today I make a profit, I invest that money to make future profit. And as a businessman, if you have a business heart, you'll understand that, boss, yes, if I'm earning profit, I cannot pull that money out of business. I should invest it in business only. Only that way we will grow, right? But for example, if we talk about Hindustan Unilever is a company which is making profit in 1,000 crores. और मैं आपको बताता हूं, जितना हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर कमा रहा है, उतना इन्वेस्टमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी ही नहीं है मार्केट में. हाउ मच हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर इज अर्निंग, that much investment opportunity only is not there. What do I mean? For example, Hindustan Unilever earns 20,000 crore. Arey, where will it invest this money? Every year you cannot find such investment opportunities. So hence, what they do is a good portion of this amount, say 10,000 crore, they give to the shareholders, and that giving to the shareholder is in form of dividend, and that is called as dividend. Sir, there are lot many things that they can do about this 20,000. They can also give dividend. If not dividend, they can issue bonus shares. If not dividend, they can issue bonus shares. If not bonus shares, they can convert partly paid shares into fully paid shares. ऐसा कुछ अपन ने पढ़ा है sir. Similar things we have read in chapter. Bolo. Sir, have you studied something called as conversion of partly paid shares into equity shares, bonus shares? Have you studied something of this sort in your chapter 4, share capital and debenture? Have you studied? Yes, sir. You have, right? So you can do these things with the money, but dividend is something that we will be talking about in this chapter. Sir, I will need your active participation, boss. I will need your active participation in the chat box in Zakir Khan's language. Chat नहीं chatte होनी चाहिए भाई. Chat नहीं chatte होनी चाहिए. तब जा करके पढ़ाई में मजा आएगा. बोलो कुछ तो बोलो. कितना सो गए यार? या तो नींद पूरी होनी है या फिर सपने. Yes. Okay. Now 20,000 crore is something that you have earned and you have decided to give dividend. Now sir, basic ho gaya. Dividend means what? Distribution of your profit only if you want to. So HUL as a company gives a lot of dividend. Now for those who are a little bit interested in stock market, what will happen, sir? For example, when all of us invested, let's say all of us invested in 1 lakh shares of rupees 10 each, and that is how it became 10 lakh rupees investment. Now, if you give dividend, if you distribute dividend to your members, then in that case, they'll have some profit to take home. But if you don't distribute dividend, what will happen? In that case, the value of this share will increase. So this 10 rupees ka value will become 12 rupees because now you have 12 lakh rupees with you and the number of shares remain the same. So the value per share will increase. So if you do not distribute dividend, nothing happens. Your share market value increases, right? Your market value of the share increases. So for example, HUL, for example, HUL is priced at rupees 2,500 rupees. Now, if HUL is priced at rupees 2,500, then listen to me very carefully. Then either it will keep growing and it will become 2,800, or let's say it distributed a dividend of 20 rupees. So this market value will come down by 20 rupees and it will become 2,780 rupees. Okay. Now, sir, who are eligible? Who is eligible to receive dividend? Who is eligible to receive dividend? Can you tell me something? भाई एक लेवल ऊपर कॉन्सेप्ट समझाऊंगा, आप में समझने की पेशेंस होने चाहिए. सुनो मेरी बात. Sir, do you know how stock market works? Do you know at all how stock market works? Every single second there is a transaction. Every single second there is a transaction. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. My question to you is, on 1st April to 30th April, there were so many market days. In those market days, there were so many buyer sellers selling their shares and buying their shares. Now, when you decide to give dividend, to which members will you give dividend? Matlab, you will have to settle for some list of members. Now you'll have to figure out, and you'll have to figure out how Shubham is a member, and hence we will have to give him this many equity and on this many share. So how will you decide whether Shubham or not is eligible or not? So what you will have to do is, you will have to figure out something which is called as record date. What is record date? Record date is that one day when you will see the register of members. What will you see, sir? You will see the register of members, the register where all the members list appears. Sir, the register of members keep changing every day. So you will decide one date, that date is called as record date. On that record date, after the end of market, when your market ends at 3:15, 3:30, what you will do is, you will take that register. You'll take that register. This line really gives me something every morning. I just remind this line and मेरी नींद ही उड़ जाती है, या तो नींद पूरी होगी या फिर सपने. हाँ जी दोस्तों, सुनो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ. So what happens is, on the record date you take the register of members and you are like, हाँ इसमें शुभम सिंघल है, हाँ तो इसको डिविडेंड का अमाउंट प्रोसेस कर दो, बट सब्जेक्ट टू द अप्रूवल ऑफ shareholders in the AGM. Did you understand, guys? Did you understand? Okay. Now, sir, how is dividend? What are we going to cover about dividend? So first and foremost, we will have to understand the definition of dividend. We will have to understand the definition of dividend. What is a dividend? So dividend क्या होता है? इन्होंने section 2 subsection 35 में बताया. Section 2 subsection 35. What is dividend? It is defined in section 2 subsection 35. Dividend, क्या मस्त definition दिया देखना. They said dividend includes interim dividend. अरे हाँ, पर dividend होता क्या है? बोले नहीं. बोला बताना. बोले नहीं. What is dividend? Dividend includes interim dividend. So this definition that is given in section 235 is not an actual definition of dividend. It is just increasing the scope of dividend to include interim dividend. पर सर ये interim dividend क्या होता है? उसके पहले मैं आपको बता देता हूं. Dividend as such is not defined in law. Okay, dividend is a very well understood concept that you are giving a share, it is a distribution of the profit. Can I say that? It is a distribution of the profit. If you are giving dividend, it means you are dividing the profit. Now, sir, when you talk about dividend, you said it includes interim dividend. But what is interim dividend? I'll tell you, dividend are of two types. Number one is final dividend. Number two is interim dividend. Interim dividend. Please understand what is final dividend and what is interim dividend. Final dividend, the one that we were seeing up for HUL, the mail that I showed you for HUL, it was clearly written that it is a final dividend. Had you seen? Had you noticed? देखा था तुमने? देखा था ना? है ना? समझ रहे हो? So, sir, the dividend that you saw was final dividend. Final dividend is what? You have a financial year, okay? Financial year starting from 1st April 2021 and ending on 31st March 2022. Now, when you know this financial year is over, okay, you have the financials ready. मतलब क्या? You know what your revenue is, you know what your cost was, and you know what is your distributable profit. Okay, so when you know what your finances are, and based on this, if you declare dividend which is for the whole year, that is called as final dividend. How do you pay final dividend, sir? How do you pay final dividend? So the process is, chronology समझो आप chronology समझो. The process is, first of all, board will recommend dividend. Sir, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्सेप्ट है और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है. प्लीज फोकस ऑन ईच एंड एवरी पॉइंट दैट आई एम सेइंग एंड फील फ्री टू आस्क योर क्वेश्चंस टुडे. Today is a different day. Today is a different topic, and today is a very important topic. I want your concepts to be 100% clear, no matter how much time or energy it takes. ओके यो भाई सर, कभी कभी आप मुझे कैरी मिनाटी दिखा ही देते हो, बताओ। कैरी मिनाटी बोल दिया। हाँ, उसके बाद तारीफ करने से क्या फायदा? कैरी मिनाटी थोड़ी होती, प्रोफेसर को कैरी मिनाटी बोलता है कोई? लिसन टू मी वेरी केयरफुली, किडिंग, डोंट वरी, कम हियर। What I'm saying is, first of all, the board will recommend dividend. The mail that I had received first was that the board has recommended dividend. But board के recommend करने से कुछ नहीं होता है। पैसे किसके हैं? Whose money is it? I am the shareholder. It is my money. I have invested in the company. It is my money. I will decide whether the company should give the money to me or should keep on investing the money. So after board recommends, what will happen is the shareholders in the annual general meeting will declare this dividend, will confirm this dividend, and once shareholders declares this dividend, their dividend will be paid. Okay, now for example, sir, for example, board recommended a dividend. Okay, can I tell you something? How is dividend? In case of HUL, the dividend was rupees 19 per share, correct? They write 19 per share, which is very easy to understand. But usually dividend is decided in terms of percentage. So dividend, if I say dividend, dividend is defined in percentage. आप 19 rupees per share नहीं कहते हो, you calculate it in percentage. क्या बात कर रहे हो सर? हाँ, I'll tell you something. Sir, I have a question. For example, I'll talk about HUL, Hindustan Unilever. The company shares face value is ₹1. Face value is ₹1. The market price of that particular share is 2,500 today. 2,500. If you go to stock market and if you buy HUL ka one share, it will cost you 2,500 today. I bought that share 1 year ago. So my purchase price was rupees 2,000. For example. Okay. So face value is ₹1. Market value is 2,500 rupees and purchase price is 2,000 rupees. Sir, very important concept, huh? If HUL is saying that we are declaring a dividend of 10%, or let's say we are declaring a dividend of 100%. We are declaring a dividend of 100%. Now I have 20 shares of HUL. My question to you is, basis this information, how much money am I going to get in my bank account? Sir, HUL ka face value is ₹1, market value is 2,500, purchase price is 2,000 rupees. I purchased it for 2,000 rupees. Hindustan Unilever is saying that it will declare a dividend. It is declaring a dividend of 100% for the financial year 2021 and 22. My question to you is, if I have 20 shares, how much money will I get in my bank account? Please answer, guys. Please answer. If you answer, either you are right or you're wrong. If you are right, great. If you're wrong, you have to learn with your mistakes. So please answer. Take a moment and answer. How much money will I get in my bank account? The option is ₹20. The option is ₹50,000. The option is ₹40,000. Option A, option B, option C. So the answer is, you will get only ₹20. You will get only ₹20. Dividend as a percentage is always percentage of paid up share capital. Or should I say, is always a percentage of face value or nominal value of each share. It is the percentage of face value or nominal value. So I'll tell you something. The face value of apna HUL ka share was ₹1. The dividend that they issued per share was ₹19. So what they have issued is, they have issued 1,900% dividend. They have issued 1,900% dividend. That is called as dividend rate. But in practical, you will have to understand, you to bought that share for ₹2,000. You to bought that share for ₹2,000. Or let's say, if you would have bought that share today, you would have bought it for 2,500. Right? And on that 2,500, you got a dividend of 19 rupees. So it is like only 1% dividend that you have received. This is called as dividend yield. You don't have to by heart this, sir. This is just for your practical knowledge. But what you have to by heart is dividend as a percentage is always a percentage of your face value. ऐसा खुश मत हो जाना that अरे HUL announced a dividend of say 1900%. So मेरे को अभी 2500 का 1900% मिलेगा. Nothing boss, nothing. 2500 का 1900% डिविडेंड तुमको समझ आता है? ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. It is always a percentage of face value and face value is always less. Okay. Sneha, Ritika, जिन्होंने गलती की, did you guys understand? Yes, sir. Now coming back to something that I was explaining to you, what dividend are of two types, final dividend and interim dividend. Final dividend is what? After the close of financial year, you look at your finances. Based on that, the board recommends a percentage of dividend, and when a board recommends a percentage of dividend, that goes to shareholder in the annual general meeting, and in the annual general meeting, the shareholder either approves or rejects such dividend, and if it is approved, such dividend is declared and it is paid. Okay, now, sir, can I ask you something? If the, sir, हम मना करेंगे तो नहीं पूछोगे क्या? नहीं, मैं पूछूंगा, लेकिन ठीक है, सुनो मेरी बात. Guys, शर्त लगा रहा हूं, गलत जवाब दोगे. लगी 100 की, लगी 100 की, बताओ. शर्त लगा रहा हूं, गलत जवाब दोगे. My question to you, the board has recommended a dividend of 10%. The board has recommended a dividend of 10%. Case 1. Case 2, the board has recommended a dividend of 10%. Okay. But when you went to the shareholder said that, "Arey, 10% is too high, boss. Please don't remove so much from the company. You have to invest more and more. So please give us dividend of only 5%, not more than that." Second case, when board declared a dividend of 10% and went to shareholder said that, "अरे 10% में क्या होगा? इतना पैसा छाप रहे हो तुम लोग, क्या करोगे? कहीं इन्वेस्टमेंट करने के लिए भी नहीं है. So give us 20%. My question to you is very simple. Are both the cases allowed? Is it allowed for the shareholder to change the percentage of dividend which is declared by the board? Is it allowed to change the percentage of the dividend that is declared by the board? अरे बोलो ना, तुम कम ज्यादा कर सकते हो क्या? बोर्ड ने बोला है 10%. बोर्ड ने बोला है 10%. तुम कम ज्यादा कर सकते हो क्या? The answer is no. But the answer is yes. क्या मजाक कर रहे हो सर? मजाक नहीं कर रहा हूं, एक बार देखो. Sir, in case 1, you are talking nicely. In case 2, you're not talking nicely. Please go and invest, grow the company. It is our money only. We will earn later on. So this is a good thing. This you can do. See, boss, you as a shareholder by the board, you can either approve the same percentage or you can reduce the percentage, but you cannot claim a higher dividend unless board recommends it. 10 rupees per share de do, humko chal jayega, but the shareholders can never say that meko 20 rupees per share de do. You can never increase the amount of dividend which is proposed by the board. Okay? Did you understand? Did you understand, sir? Yes. So the conclusion is that the dividend is proposed by the board, recommended by the board, and whatever percentage is recommended by the board, at that same percentage or a percentage lower than it, you can declare it and approve it in your annual general meeting, and then it will become a final dividend. So sir, final dividend, can I say something? Final dividend is dividend which is approved in AGM. So this AGM, final dividend, the next AGM, final dividend, the next AGM, final dividend. Quick revision question for you. Within how many months from the close of financial year is AGM required to be held? Within how many months? Within, एक second. Sir, there is a lag in the video. Technical team, can you please check? Team, can you please check? Guys, others, those who are here, can you please tell me how is it going for other students? Is it fine now? Am I visible to you? Am I visible to you? Am I visible to you? Technical team, do we have you here? guys, chalo. You'll have to confirm that you're here, guys. Guys, is it fine? Can we move forward? Can we move forward? Bolo ha. Bolo ha. Bolo ha. Bolo ha. There is no lag. Perfect. Okay. Now it is fine. Cool. Okay. 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 So many students. Wow. Great. Come on, guys. Come on. So what I'm saying is, the AGM is held within, I asked you a simple doubt here. Your teacher taught you AGM. How can you not know? You have to hold it within 6 months. And if you want, you can get an extension of 3 months, except for the first AGM. First AGM jane do, except for that, you'll have to hold it within 6 months. Now, the most important question. Sir, this is final dividend we understood, and it is AGM to AGM. What is interim dividend? Sir, ye interim dividend kya hota hai? What is interim dividend? Now, what happens is, company wants, sir, do you understand that? Why does a company give dividend? Company gives dividend because it wants to show that, arey, we are earning so much profit that we are investing also, and we are giving to our shareholders also. We are earning so much profit that we are investing also and giving some money to our shareholders also. That is how much profit we are earning. And honestly, boss, honestly, ऐसा तुमको randomly बिना expected ऐसा message आए 380 rupees credited, you feel happy. And for us, it is a small shareholder, but for bigger shareholders, they get 3,800. Some get 38,000. So that kind of money is good for them, right? So dividend feels good. Now, what is interim dividend, sir? Your financial year 21 started, and it is it goes on till 31st March 2022. Correct? Your financial year 21 started on 1st April 2021, and it goes on till 31st March 2022. The point is that during this financial year, understand what happened. Your quarter one happened, okay? Then your quarter two happened. I'm just giving you an example. By the end of quarter one and quarter two, in the 6 months, you saw that, arey boss, our business is doing amazing. Okay, and what we had earned in FY 2021 in total, na, in total हमने जितना एक साल में कमाया था, that much we have already earned in only 6 months. It's time that we also make our shareholders happy. Or it's time that we also let our shareholders know that, see at what pace we are growing. So what you will do is, sometime during this time, you will announce a dividend. You will announce a dividend saying that we are giving a dividend of rupees 10 per share. And this dividend, because it is happening between two AGM. Sir, when was the last AGM when did the last AGM happen? Let's say the last AGM happened here sometime. Okay. Or let's say the last AGM happened on 23rd June 2021. And now the next AGM will be 23rd June 2022. So between two AGMs, you are giving a declared dividend. That dividend is called as interim dividend. Interim dividend is a dividend that you give between two AGMs. Now, please understand carefully. This interim dividend is recommended by board and declared by, अरे बोलो चलो आप लिखो, आपको ऑब्वियस लग रहा है ना, आप बोलो, recommended by board and declared by sir, BOD मतलब क्या? Board of Directors. Okay, so this is recommended by board and declared by बोलो declared by, it is declared by, sir, it is declared by board only. Interim dividend shareholders के पास नहीं जाता है. It is recommended by board and declared by board. क्यों sir? क्योंकि shareholders can approve dividend in an annual general meeting. Annual general meeting happens only once in a year. Now, if you want to declare a dividend on, say, 10th August, you want to declare a dividend. How will you declare a dividend? You can't go to the shareholders. So what will happen? Board will announce it and board will declare it. But what you will do is, subsequently, you will take this to the shareholders in the AGM and get it ratified. You'll get it ratified. Ratified मतलब क्या sir? Ratified मतलब मैं आपको बताता हूँ. Ratified मतलब क्या? Sir, if I have a girlfriend, if I have a girlfriend, okay? Now, if I have a girlfriend and my dad had been to US, and I have a girlfriend in Mumbai. Now, what I did was, when my dad was in US, in this time, in last 6 months, I wanted to marry her. Okay. Now I wanted to marry her, but dad is not in India. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and marry her. But there will be one condition, that our marriage is very well valid, but subject to ratification by dad when he comes back India. My marriage is very well valid, but subject to ratification by dad when he comes back to India. If he comes back to India, if and when he comes back to India, if he doesn't ratify this marriage, then this marriage will not be considered valid. ये hypothetical example है ना, शादी हुई है ना, पापा यूएस गए हैं, hypothetical example है. The point is ratification is basically approval. So shareholders will approve. It is kind of a ratification. हाँ कर लिया ना, ठीक है कोई बात नहीं. So that is called as ratification. So your shareholder, your dividend will already be paid here. पैसा निकल जाएगा इधर, पेमेंट हो जाएगा, but it will be subject to ratification in the annual general meeting. So sir, here the share rate is recommended by board and declared by board. So the major difference between final dividend and interim dividend is that it is recommended by board but approved by shareholders in AGM. But here it is recommended and declared, both is done by board. The second example is that final dividend is paid only once. Interim dividend can be paid n number of times. जितना तुमको ठीक लगे तुम interim dividend दे दो एक financial year में. Next, final dividend is paid in for each financial year and it is paid in the AGM. But interim dividend is paid quarterly, any period of time between two AGMs. Between two AGMs, whatever dividend you pay is called as interim dividend. Now let me show you something. Sir, this is Hindustan Unilever ka website. Okay, they have given information on dividend. The latest dividend that they declared has not been updated yet. Okay, they have not updated the latest dividend yet. But if you see, for the year 2021-22, dividend 66I, ये इनका code है कुछ तो भी, ठीक है? I because interim है 66 because I think 66, I don't know what 66th year ऐसा कुछ होगा. Type क्या है dividend का? Interim. Dividend rate per share 15. Date of declaration 19th October, date of payment 12th November and date of transfer to IEPF कुछ है, I'll explain you later. But date of declaration क्या है? 19th October 2021. So between the financial year, the board declared and approved a dividend. Now this dividend was subsequently ratified in the recent annual general meeting that happened and everyone happily ratified it. ठीक है? Sir, do interim dividend affect final dividend? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. If you have one chocolate, you'll always have one chocolate only. If you have one chocolate and you were supposed to eat it at the end of the year and you eat a part of it today, then obviously the part remaining for the end of year will be less now. आपको पता है मन में कि भाई मैं 50 रुपए से ज्यादा डिविडेंड तो दूंगा ही नहीं. अगर 50 रुपीज में से आज 10 रुपए दे दोगे तो बाकी 40 ही दे पाओगे ना बाद में. ठीक है. सो पॉइंट इज इट डेफिनेटली अफेक्ट्स फाइनल डिविडेंड, बट इफ यू आर अर्निंग सो मच दैट पैसों की कमी नहीं है, वैसा वाला अगर हो जाता है, इन दैट केस इट वोंट अफेक्ट. ओके. Sir, what is special dividend? I have no clue, honestly. Honestly, I have no clue, but it is very interesting. We'll check it. We'll check this. What is special dividend? Remind me later. I think what must have happened is Hindustan Unilever must have, made some extraordinary profit, some major transaction, amalgamation, something of that sort, and that is how it released a dividend. Okay. But good observation, Rahul, good observation, Pooja. Now coming back to the topic in hand, basic, sir, बहुत basic में, I'm going really slow. Okay. Do you have to catch a train? ऐसा है सर, जल्दी पढ़ाओ, सुबह पनवेल के लिए निकलने, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं ना? तो आराम से पढ़ लो और खत्म करेंगे. ठीक है. Now guys, listen to me very carefully. So the first type of dividend that I explained to you was that it is a final dividend or nominal dividend. Now, a very, very important concept, guys, and this concept you will need till your CA final level, even for your accounts. So just hear me out carefully. And you already know it, I guess, okay, because of your accounts maybe. There is one preference share, there is equity share. And you already know the difference between preference and equity because you studied in the chapter number 4. So sir, preference share and equity share. Okay, quick question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, कितनी नींद आ रही है? 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, कितनी नींद आ रही है? बताओ, फटाफट बताओ। और सच बोलना, भगवान को जाके शक्ल दिखानी है, झूठ क्यों बोलना है, सच बोलना। On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how sleepy are you? Zero, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. These people who say 0 are altogether different active people, and they're like 1 kya? 0, sir, -10. रीशा 5. अंकित गुप्ता, पिछले बार भी तेरा 10 था। डिविडेंड जैसे चैप्टर में नींद आ रही है, रात को बात करना बंद कर दो, तब सुबह नींद खुल जाएगी। Prabhas, 1, sir, because your energy took away my sleep. Okay, thank you. Something.
Whatever your web hosting.
Oh my God. Sorry. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? You are here, huh? Okay. Okay. Chalo. Sir, you know what is preference share and you know what is equity share. Now, preference share, I am now further classifying dividend. Okay. Now, preference share can again be divided into two parts: cumulative and non-cumulative. Cumulative and non-cumulative. What do you mean by that, sir? Preference share means, for example, 12% preference share. 12% preference share of rupees 100 each, for example, and here in the bracket it is written cumulative. Cumulative means what, sir? Cumulative means what? I'll tell you cumulative means what. For example, you issued this 12% preference shares of rupees 100 each, and now you issued it for example, for 3 years. Financial year 21-22, financial year 22-23, and financial year 23-24. Cumulative means what? First of all, what is the dividend that you will give on this preference shares? So this percentage written at the start is the percentage of dividend. 12% written at the start is the percentage of dividend. You'll give 12% dividend. Now what will happen in financial year 2021-22? You have profits. You have good profit. Ekdam maza aa gaya. So you will give rupees 12 per share as a dividend. Very good. You'll have to give this because it is a cumulative share. Next, what happened in financial year 22-23? You had a loss. My question is, in case of loss, will you give dividend to shareholders? In case of loss, actually, let me be more specific. In case of loss, will you give dividend to preference shareholders? Sir, the answer is, because in this case, this is a cumulative preference share. Cumulative preference share has to receive dividend every year. तुमको देना ही पड़ेगा. Consider it like a debt. In case of cumulative preference share, consider it kind of a loan. आप बैंक से लोन लेते हो तो क्या बोलते हो? इस साल प्रॉफिट नहीं है, मैं तेरे को इंटरेस्ट नहीं दूंगा. नहीं. If you have taken a loan from the bank, you will have to pay the interest irrespective of your profit or loss. Similarly, when you are taking loan from when you are raising preference shares, that is cumulative. So irrespective of whether there is profit or loss, dividend तो देना पड़ेगा. लेकिन इस साल loss है ना, तो आप पैसे नहीं दे पाओगे. So you will pay it later on when there is profit. You will pay later on when there is profit. So this rupees 12 per share will now become arrears in dividend. And next year when you have profit, you will pay this arrear, rupees 12 per share, and along with that 12 per share for this particular year. तो सर आपको हर साल 12 रुपए पर शेयर तो मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे. Whether if you have profit, you'll get immediately that year, or if you have loss, it will go to arrears. And when you are redeeming the preference shares, all the arrears and dividend will have to be paid along with it. So in case of cumulative share, it means that your dividend gets accumulated. That is called as cumulative preference shares. But if the same preference shares, 12% preference share of rupees 100 each, non-cumulative मतलब क्या होता है सर? Non-cumulative मतलब तुमको देना है तो दो, तुमको नहीं देना है तो मत दो. Non-cumulative means तुमको देना है तो दो, तुमको नहीं देना है तो मत दो. अगर आपने, for example, financial year 21-22, 22-23, and 23-24. Guys, does any of you have problem with me using English? Because I don't want बाद में you give feedback to ICAI, because now you're not saying to I don't understand. I can use 100% English also. But even a single student here has a problem with a little bit of Hindi that I'm using in between, because I think Hindi makes you active. That's the whole reason. You have seen me in the first two classes. I've completely used Hindi, English, but I can also completely do that. But I'm trying to ensure that 1 out of 10 sentences at least Hindi. Does anybody here has a problem with Hindi at all? अरे बोलो बोलो कुछ तो बोलो, प्लीज प्लीज से ओपन योर माउथ. हा 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 मत करना. नहीं ठीक है, good. So in case of non-cumulative preference shares, what happens is, in case of non-cumulative preference shares, if you announce a dividend, good, pay it. In case if you don't announce a dividend, don't pay it. In case you announce a dividend, pay it. For example, financial year 22-23, I didn't announce any dividend on preference shares. It's okay. Your rights expires. Now you cannot come and say later, अरे 2022-23 का dividend बचा है. नहीं भाई, वो खत्म हो गया, साल गई बात गई. Now we will not be able to declare dividend. That is the basic difference between cumulative and non-cumulative. Cumulative means everything gets accumulated. Non-cumulative means if you get a dividend, great. If you don't, you don't get. Okay, so that is the kind of dividend. In cumulative, there are cumulative preference shares with dividend, non-cumulative preference shares के dividend, and after, of course, there is equity पे dividend. Profit है तो दे दो, नहीं है तो मत दो. Simple. Did you understand? Yes, sir, you understood. Good. So these are the basic kind of dividends, sir, that we were supposed to talk about. Now let's move to the more important part of this chapter. This chapter starts from section 123. So this chapter starts from 123. What was 122? What was section 122, sir? Did we even study 122, or is it not there in our syllabus? What was section 122? I left you with section 87. We started with section 77 and ended at 87. Which chapter was this? Charges. And then after that, we left something in between, and then we came to state this chapter, which is 123, so 127. But what was section 122, sir? Was there a section 122, or was there not a section 122? Bolo? Okay, so only one person was able to recollect, Vaishali, that this was there in chapter 7. क्या बाकी लोग? क्या? It was related to one person company. पता नहीं सर, आप ही बता दो. एग्जाम मेरे को लिखना है कुसुम. सर आवाज नहीं आ रही मत बोलना, मैं चुपचाप बोल रहा था, तुमको मूवी देखना पड़ेगा, ठीक है. Applicability of AGM in case of one person company, correct. Chalo. Now guys, so section 122 was that. We have to read from section 123 to section 127. What is section 123? What is section 123? Sir, we are going to read every small thing about dividend, and this chapter is not light. It is a very technical chapter. Let's start with section 123. What is section 123, sir? Section 123 basically talks about declaration of dividend. You will understand a lot of things. Now, sir, when you are giving dividend, where do you pay the money from? Where do you pay the money from? So, for example, if we are talking about Hindustan Unilever, which gave dividend for financial year 21-22, it gave dividend, and we are talking about final dividend. पहले final dividend की बात कर लेते हैं. Where will you bring the money from? The money could be from multiple sources. First source could be profit of current year, current financial year profits. Whatever profits you have earned in the current financial year, out of that you can give dividend. Yes, sir. Of course, we can give dividend out of that. But, sir, if we had losses in current financial year, can we give dividend? Arey, sir, in the current financial year, if Hindustan Unilever had losses, Can Hindustan Unilever still give dividend? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Hindustan Unilever was giving a dividend of say almost 15% in the past 10 years. पिछले 10 साल से लगातार Hindustan Unilever was giving 15%. This year, due to some unfortunate circumstances, it's all lost. But it still wants to give a dividend of 15%. My question is, can it give a dividend of 15%? The answer is yes. Because was current year loss doesn't mean that you're poor. You have earned profit in the past also, right? So you have profits in the past also. So you can also give dividend out of your past profits. You can also give dividend out of your past profit. So dividend can be given out of your current year profit, also can be given out of your past profit. But sir, when you take your past profit now, when you're talking about your past profit, for example, if you're talking about financial year 2021 ka profits that you made, please ensure that this profit number that you're taking is after depreciation. What is depreciation, sir? Depreciation is basically you have assets, you reduce the value of the assets. Because for example, if I have a car, I have a Creta I bought for rupees 18 lakh rupees. Now this Creta is worth 18 lakh rupees today. But after 10 years, will it be worth 18 lakh rupees? No, it will not be worth 18 lakh rupees. Why? Because I keep on using it. Kabhi ye hota hai, kabhi wo hota hai, kabhi kharab hota hai, kabhi thuk gayi gaadi. So it keeps on depreciating. So you will have to depreciate the period of the value of this asset over the period. Now whatever depreciation you are charging, that is usually adjusted in your profit. Matlab, you arrive at your revenue, you reduce cost, and then you also reduce depreciation, and then you arrive at the profit. Okay, but if you have not by mistake not considered depreciation, you will have to consider depreciation while arriving at the profit. And based on this depreciation, how will you calculate depreciation, sir? There is a schedule called Schedule 2. What is Schedule 2, sir? In your Companies Act, when you're talking about Companies Act, first of all, there are chapters. Okay, there are so many chapters. For example, the chapter that we are currently reading, 8th chapter, is also 8th chapter of your Companies Act. Now in this chapter, there are sections. In those sections, there are subsections. Correct. Now, when all your chapters are over, there are so many chapters. When all your chapters are over, there are 7 schedules to Companies Act. Out of that, there is Schedule 1, 2, 3. Schedule 2 is something which helps you in calculating of depreciation. Schedule 3, you must have heard of, is general guidelines for preparation of financial statement. Similarly, there is a Schedule 2. This Schedule 2 depreciation will help you calculate depreciation, and that is how you will calculate depreciation and reduce it from the profit if you have not already reduced it. And once you arrive at profit after depreciation, that amount will be what? That amount can be used for distribution of your profits. Sir, did you understand? पहले थियरी समझ लो, आज के क्लास में थियरी समझ लो, कल की क्लास में मैं आपको एक कॉन्सेप्ट प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल के साथ खत्म करवा दूंगा, हो जाएगा आपका डिविडेंड खत्म. ठीक है? यस, टोटल 29 चैप्टर्स. करेक्ट. इन्वेस्ट इन दिस कंपनी, यू इन्वेस्ट इन दिस कंपनी, हमारी गारंटी आपकी ग्रोथ होगी, हमारी गारंटी आपको डिविडेंड मिलता रहेगा. इफ यू डोंट गेट डिविडेंड, इफ द कंपनी डजंट मेक प्रॉफिट, then we will give some money to the company, and this money will be given as a dividend to you. And if such a guarantee has been given by the central government, if central government gives such money to the company, then that money has to be given to the shareholder. So I am talking about source. किधर से पैसा लाओगे तुम डिविडेंड देने के लिए? तो I said current year profits, I said prior profits, or say both, or any money that you have received from central government or state government in pursuance of a guarantee. Now, sir, one question: when you say past year profit, when you say profits of last year, how will it appear in your books? आपके books में, in your P&L, in your balance sheet, how will you find past year profits? Your past year profits will be either in profit or loss account, or it will be in the name of free reserves. Whatever amount you have in free reserves, that will be considered as prior year profits. Sir, what are free reserves? Free reserves matlab kya? Free reserves are those reserves that has money which is available for distribution as dividend. Matlab kya? Agar aap dividend. सुन लो. Free reserve is something which is a reserve which is available for distribution as dividend. Sir, I have a question. In my books, I purchased a land. I had purchased a land back in 2000. Okay, that land was valued at, I had purchased it for a cost of rupees 1 crore. I had purchased the land 22 years ago for 1 crore rupees, and in my books it was appearing for 1 crore rupees. Today in 2022, I applied fair market valuation technique. I applied Ind AS, and under Ind AS I was required to value my asset at fair value. What I did was, this land has now become worth 40 crores. 40 times value increase ho gayi, sir. So now what I have is, I have rupees 39 crore worth of profit. In my books, this profit in my books I have shown as revaluation reserve. Revaluation reserve. Or any reserve which is arising out of changing the value of that particular asset. My question to you is, I saw, अरे 39 crore का profit, क्या मस्त है भाई. Let's distribute this. Let's distribute this profit. My question is, can you do so? My question is, can you do so? Can you distribute profits arising out of revaluation of an asset, which is merely a book entry? Sir, my question to you is, sir, 1 second. Tech team, are you here? Hello? Hello? Okay, no problem. Right. Ayush keh raha hai, but physically money. Yes, sir. I think there is tech issue at your end, sir, because my internet is showing 150 Mbps speed. Okay. Guys, my question is, can dividend be distributed? The answer is no, because guys, this is notional money यार. पैसे किधर है? बुक में तुम 1 करोड़ को 100 करोड़ लिख दो, 40 करोड़ लिख दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? पैसे किधर है डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने के? किधर से डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करोगे? So revaluation reserves, which are merely book entries, out of that you cannot distribute dividend. That will not be included in free reserve. So your notional gains, you know, your revaluation reserve, or any reserve arising out of change in carrying amount. Change in carrying amount. What is change in carrying amount, sir? Ask your accounts teacher. What is change in carrying amount? Carrying amount changes basically if you change the rate at which the asset is recorded in your book. If you change that amount, in that case, that will be change in carrying amount ka jo bhi reserve aayega, those cannot be used for distribution of dividend. Only profit and loss account or your free reserves can be used for distribution of dividend. Did you understand? Yes, sir. Now, there was a provision earlier, sir. There was a provision earlier, which is a little relaxed provision now. Now, when you declare dividend now, earlier there was a mandatory condition that every time a company declares a dividend, the company will have to transfer an amount to the reserve. A free reserve in which you will have to transfer such percentage जो लिखा हुआ था पहले क्या होता था, if a company is declaring dividend, for example HUL declared dividend and say it declared a dividend of rupees 100 crore. So earlier the provision used to say that if a company is declaring a dividend of 100 crore now, at the same time it will also transfer an amount of 100 crore or whatever percentage to a reserve, and only after transferring similar amount to the reserve it can declare a dividend. So if you are giving 100 crore, you need to have one more 100 crore also in your books to transfer it to reserves. But now this provision has been changed, and now the provision says that where a company is declaring dividend, such company may transfer such percentage of amount as it deems fit to the reserve. क्या बोला सर? मतलब एक ना रिजर्व बनेगा जिसमें, so for example I'll tell you something. If our company, you remember the initial example that I had given, we invested 10 lakh rupees and from 10 lakh rupees we made 12 lakh rupees, so we made a profit of 2 lakh rupees. Now you have a profit of total 2 lakh rupees. So the intention of law earlier was पूरा 2 लाख रुपया मत बांट भाई, पूरा 2 लाख रुपए मत बांट. So what you will do is some amount you will give as dividend, some amount you will give as reserve, so that at least some amount you have as a reserve. You're not distributing full profit. But now the law has changed. Now the law says that if you are giving a dividend, you give dividend, and what amount should be transferred to reserve, sir? It is not mandatory. Now it is optional because law has changed and used the word may. If you want, the company may transfer some amount to reserve, and what will be the amount? Arey, whatever amount you deem fit here. 50 rupees, 101 rupees, 1001 rupees, same amount, whatever you think fit, deem fit, that much amount you may consider transferring to the reserve. It is for your own benefit. But if you don't want to transfer, don't want to transfer. We don't really care. Did you understand, sir? Did you understand? Tell me yes, you did. Tell me yes, you did. Okay, guys. Now, I hope we are very clear. I hope we are very clear that a dividend is declared. How is a dividend declared? Dividend is recommended by the board and approved by the shareholders in the annual general meeting. Is in case of a in case of a final dividend. But in case of interim dividend, it is proposed by the board and approved by the board. Now I have a very important point of view for you to understand, sir. And those of you who were sleeping until now, अब जाग जाओ भाई, वरना अब से ना एग्जाम का क्वेश्चन लिख रहा हूं मैं आपके सामने जो आपके एग्जाम में आएगा और आप सो रहे हो. अब सुन लो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. सर, रेट ऑफ डिविडेंड, वी विल टॉक अबाउट फाइनल डिविडेंड एंड वी विल टॉक अबाउट इंटरिम डिविडेंड. सर, माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज, हाउ मच dividend can be declared by a company? What percentage of dividend can be declared by a dividend company, or how much rupees? Abhi, for example, Hindustan Unilever ka you saw they gave a final dividend of rupees 19 per share. My question is, if Hindustan Unilever wants, can it give dividend of 1900 per share? और बोलेगा मेरे पास तो पैसा है, मेरे को कोई कमी नहीं, क्या मैं दे सकता हूं? तो सर, the answer is here. When you are declaring a final dividend now, you will have to check 3 conditions. 1, 2, 3. For every final dividend that you declare, you will have to check 3 conditions. But 1 second, these 3 conditions will only be checked if you have loss in the current year. Sir, if you have in profit in the current year, everything is sorted. But if you have loss in the current year and you are still declaring dividend, boss, हम आपको रोकेंगे. हम एक अपर कैप लगाएंगे. कैसे कैप लगाओगे बताओ सर? सबसे पहले we will decide the rate of dividend. Rate of dividend as in, for example, HUL के case में I said it is declaring a dividend of 1900%. Question is, can it declare a dividend of 1900%? So you will check a cap. You will have a cap on the rate. How will you keep a cap, sir? You will say that the rate of dividend shall not be more than average rate of last 3 financial year. Sir, for example, financial year, we are talking about financial year 21-22. So in this year, if you had loss, then what will be the maximum rate of dividend that you can allow? So the maximum rate will be पिछले 3 financial year का percentage, dividend percentage निकालो. For example, this was 9%, this was 10%, this was 11%. So the average percentage for the last 3 financial year will be 10%. And this is the maximum percentage that you can allow as dividend in this particular year. And this is just the first limit, sir. This is just the first test. The upper cap is on the rate of dividend. The rate shall not exceed average of the rate of dividend in the 3 immediately preceding financial year. So this is your first check. The second check will be if you have losses in the current year. भाई सुनो ना, if you have losses in the current year, पैसे किधर से आ रहे? अरे boss, if you have loss in the current year, where are you getting money from? You are getting money from past year ke reserves. So you are drawing money from past year ke reserves. So how much amount can you draw from past year reserves? What is the total amount that you can draw from past year reserves? क्या पूरा का पूरा पैसा निकाल करके दे सकते हो? नहीं sir, there is a percentage. So of your paid up share capital and your free reserve, whatever total is coming, uska 1/10 is the amount that you can draw. क्या मतलब सर? देखो समझो, बहुत आराम से समझो। 31 मार्च 2021 HUL की बात कर रहा हूं, उसका पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल था 100 करोड़, फ्री रिजर्व था 900 करोड़, कैपिटल रिजर्व था 150 करोड़। तो सर अभी सिंपल है, कैपिटल रिजर्व इररिलेवेंट है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट फ्रीली अवेलेबल फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ डिविडेंड। कैपिटल रिजर्व इज नॉट फ्रीली अवेलेबल, तो अपने लिए इग्नोर करना है। अब क्या हुआ, इन फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21 and 22 you did business and you incurred a loss of rupees 10 crore. So let's say you incurred a loss of rupees 20 crore. Okay, 20 crore का आपको लॉस हुआ, but your paid up share capital will remain the same, assume 100 crore. Your free reserve will remain the same, assume 900 crore, and you have a loss of 20 crore. So now when you are withdrawing amount, the law is saying that बस पिछले साल का जो तुम्हारा पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल या फ्री रिजर्व है, पिछले साल का छोड़ो, जो इस साल का आपका पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल या फ्री रिजर्व है ना, उसका 1/10 अमाउंट तक आप ड्रॉ कर सकते हो। मतलब 1000 करोड़ हो गया टोटल, उसका 1/10 मतलब मैक्सिमम 100 करोड़ अमाउंट यू कैन ड्रॉ। बट भाई, out of this 100 crore also that you're drawing now, you cannot distribute this fully. The first use of this 100 crore will be to set off these losses. आपका जो करंट ईयर में 20 करोड़ का लॉसेस है ना, दैट विल बी सेट ऑफ अगेंस्ट दिस रिजर्व. सो आउट ऑफ दिस 100 करोड़, 20 करोड़ विल बी टू सेट ऑफ दिस लॉस, एंड रिमेनिंग 80 करोड़ विल बी अवेलेबल फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एज डिविडेंड. सो दे हैव मेड अ कैप ऑन द मैक्सिमम अमाउंट. सर ये 3 लिमिट मेरे साथ क्लास में याद कर लो दोस्त. मैं आपको ये बता रहा हूं कि कितना मैक्सिमम डिविडेंड यू कैन डिक्लेयर. Sir, kitna maximum dividend you can declare? I am telling you how much maximum dividend can be declared. So listen to me very carefully. So first limit is that you will have to take an upper cap on the rate. Your rate of dividend cannot exceed your dividend in the past 3 years. The second limit that you will have to check is कितना पैसा withdraw कर सकता है. आप ऐसा समझ लो सर, आप ऐसा समझ लो, आपका प्रॉफिट जो है ना, ये एक गुल्लक है. गुल्लक मतलब क्या, वो बचपन में ऐसा आता था ना जिसमें आप चिल्लर डालते थे, ये गुल्लक है. इसमें आप हर साल प्रॉफिट डालते हो. हर साल एक साल प्रॉफिट डाला, फिर दूसरे साल प्रॉफिट डाला, फिर तीसरे साल प्रॉफिट डाला, फिर कभी लॉस हो गया तो ये तीसरे साल का प्रॉफिट गायब हो गया, फिर उसके बाद प्रॉफिट डाला. नाउ व्हेन यू आर ब्रिंगिंग सम मनी फॉर डिविडेंड, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द फर्स्ट लिमिट दैट यू विल हैव टू चेक इज रेट. तो रेट पे आपने चेक कर लिया. दूसरा, दिस बकेट में से हाउ मच अमाउंट कैन यू विड्रॉ. Then the limit is that your paid up share capital plus free reserves ka 10%, or I would say 1/10. Now the third condition is that balance कितना बच रहा है. अरे ये जो आपका पूल है ना, ये जो आपका गुल्लक है ना, ये गुल्लक को मैं ऐसे बनाऊं क्या तुम्हारे लिए? ये गुल्लक को मैं ऐसा बनाऊं क्या? ये देखो, ये गुल्लक है तुम्हारा. ओ हो माय गॉड, कितना अच्छा ड्राइंग करता हूं मैं. ये देखो, यहां से ना क्या करना होता है, यहां से तुमको पैसे डालने होते हैं. ठीक है, वाह वाह सर, वाह 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 वाह, वाहियात, वाह वाह वाहियात डायग्राम बनाया. पर ठीक है, जो है यही है. अब सुनो, व्हाट यू आर डूइंग इज यू हैव केप्ट अ अपर लिमिट ऑन विड्रॉल. नाउ यू विल आल्सो हैव टू चेक द लिमिट ऑफ बैलेंस. मतलब क्या, जब आप इस गुल्लक में से पैसे निकाल लोगे तो कितना निकालोगे वो तो हमने बताया. हम तुमको ये भी बताएंगे कि मिनिमम इतना बैलेंस बचना चाहिए गुल्लक में. कितना बैलेंस बचना चाहिए सर? आपके पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल का 15% तो कम से कम इस गुल्लक में बचा होना चाहिए. आफ्टर यू विड्रॉ दिस मनी, एटलीस्ट 15% ऑफ पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल शुड रिमेन इन द गुल्लक. सर ऐसे नहीं समझेगा, कैसे समझेगा फिर? चलो एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं. एग्जाम्पल, let's talk about financial year 22-23. This company, Hindustan Unilever, I'm giving you some information, sir. This example will complete your concept. Okay, I'm giving you an example and then I'll give you a break. Are you with me? I am giving you an example and then I'll give you a break. Sir, this year company in financial year 2022-23. Okay, let's make this chart like this. This company is in financial year 22-23. उसके पहले financial year 21-22, financial year 20-21 and financial year 19-20. Okay, now rate of dividend was 8%, 10%, 12%. Okay, and here there was a loss, profit or loss. There was a profit, there was profit, but here there was loss of 50 crore. Okay, paid up share capital is 120 crore. Okay, paid up share capital is how much? 120 crore. Free reserve, let's actually take round numbers for ease. Okay, paid up share capital is 100 crore, free reserve is 900 crore, and this is it. You are talking about final dividend for the financial year 2022-23. Now you have to check three things. Because why do you have to check three things? Only because there is a loss. Profit होता ना भाई तो हम ये सब बातें भी नहीं करते. लॉस है करके आपको बात करना पड़ेगा. सबसे पहला चेक, रेट कितना है डिविडेंड का. My question is what is the maximum amount of dividend that can be declared? And please notice I am asking the amount. हाँ, मैं रुपए की बात कर रहा हूं. कितना रुपया बांट सकते हो. पहला आप रेट निकालोगे, मैक्सिमम रेट. सो द मैक्सिमम रेट इज पिछले 3 साल का एवरेज. सो पिछले 3 साल का एवरेज आता है 10%. ठीक है. नाउ सर, रेट ऑफ डिविडेंड इज ऑन व्हाट? इज इट ऑन पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल और इज इट ऑन पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल प्लस फ्री रिजर्व्स? व्हाट? ये जो 10% का रेट है, ये 10% किस में लगाऊंगा? 10% ऑफ व्हाट? So sir, this is dividend is always a rate of 10% of paid up share capital. Paid up share capital क्यों? Because paid up share capital में ही nominal value या face value आता है. So you will take 10% of paid up share capital. आपका paid up share capital कितना है? 100 crore. So this will become 10 crore. So your limit number 1, can I put this as limit number 1? It says 10 crore तक का dividend दे सकता है भाई. ठीक है. Now you will check limit number 2. What was limit number 2? गुल्लक से कितना पैसा निकाल सकते हो. तो आप 10% ऑफ पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल प्लस फ्री रिजर्व गुल्लक से निकाल सकते हो. तो यहाँ पे पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल प्लस फ्री रिजर्व कितना है? 10% ऑफ 100 करोड़ प्लस 900 करोड़. सो यू कैन रिमूव गुल्लक से 100 करोड़ रुपीज, 100 करोड़ तक. बट बॉस, आउट ऑफ दिस 100 करोड़, फर्स्ट and foremost thing that you have to do is you have to set off your loss of 50 crore. So इस 100 करोड़ में से आप 50 करोड़ माइनस करोगे, which is for the loss of current year, and the remaining 50 crore is what you will have as limit 2. that is 50 करोड़ आप निकाल सकते हो as per limit 2, 10 करोड़ आप निकाल सकते हो as per limit 3. Now the third thing, how much amount are you proposing to remove? Whatever amount you are proposing to remove, after that the balance in your reserve should be at least 15% of paid up share capital plus free reserves. So sir, what is 15% of only paid up share capital? There is no free reserve. So what is your paid up share capital? 100 crore. What is your 15%? Your 15% will come to 15 crore. Now from your reserves, from this reserve, sir, reserve ना सिर्फ ये 100 करोड़ है. रिजर्व पेड अप शेयर कैपिटल नहीं है. रिजर्व सिर्फ आपका 100 करोड़ है. इस 100 करोड़ में से आप जितना भी पैसा निकालो, आपके पास 15 करोड़ तो कम से कम बचना चाहिए. तो द मैक्सिमम अमाउंट दैट यू कैन रिमूव हियर इज 85 करोड़. Because even after you remove 85 crore, you will still have 15% of paid up share capital in your reserve. So in this case, sir, this is the third limit, and these three are maximum amount. But sir, the lower of these three will be the maximum amount. So 10 crore is what you are looking at, and this 10 crore is what you can take as dividend for the purpose of declaring in the current year if you have losses in the current year. My friends, did you understand? अरे सर, डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड? प्लीज जो भी लोग हो यहाँ पे जोर जोर से बोलो हाँ 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 हाँ. कम ऑन, प्लीज से यस. कम ऑन, कम ऑन, कम ऑन. बोलो यस. समझा? बोलो हाँ, बोलो हाँ, बोलो हाँ, बोलो हाँ, बोलो हाँ. हाँ बोलो या ना बोलो, एक बार बोलो समझा कि नहीं समझा. अरे जोर से बोलो हाँ, जोर से बोलो हाँ. हाँ बोलो हाँ, बोलो हाँ. Archie, I cannot take queries in between, beta. I'll take at the end of the class. Please understand. सर, करेंट ईयर के प्रॉफिट में फाइनल डिविडेंड में कैप नहीं लगेगी. आर्ची बेटा, जब मैं ये बोल रहा हूं कि आप ये लिमिट्स तभी देखोगे जब आपका करेंट ईयर में लॉस है, तो उसका मतलब यही होता है ना कि करेंट ईयर के प्रॉफिट में आपको मैक्सिमम कैप नहीं लगेगा. ठीक है? डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड गाइस? यस सर, वी अंडरस्टूड. सर, आप तो बोल रहे थे ब्रेक दूंगा. हाँ, मैं ब्रेक दूंगा, पर एक छोटा सा कॉन्सेप्ट बता देता हूं, क्योंकि मैं ये भी बोल रहा था कि फाइनल डिविडेंड के बाद मैं तुमको इंटरिम डिविडेंड पढ़ाऊंगा. मैं आपको ये भी बोल रहा था कि फाइनल डिविडेंड के बाद मैं आपको इंटरिम डिविडेंड पढ़ाऊंगा। सर इंटरिम डिविडेंड में ना बहुत छोटा सा है, बहुत छोटा सा, इतना फाइनल डिविडेंड इतना ही नहीं है। इंटरिम डिविडेंड में एक बहुत छोटा सा प्रोविजन है गाइस। फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन यू आर declaring an interim dividend for say financial year 21, financial year 22, you're declaring an interim dividend here. All you have to do is you have to see that जो क्वार्टर इसके पहले खत्म हुआ वो क्वार्टर नहीं जो तुम सोच रहे हो। जो क्वार्टर मतलब क्या, 3 months का पीरियड, जो क्वार्टर इसके पहले खत्म हुआ, whenever you are declaring an interim dividend, the immediately preceding quarter तक जो आपका प्रॉफिट है या लॉस है वो आपको देखना है। मतलब क्या, whenever you are declaring a dividend, all you have to see is in this financial year till the immediately preceding quarter whether I have profit or loss. For example, अपना HUL had declared dividend on 19th October. So 19th October में what HUL will see is 1st April से लेकर के 1st April से लेकर के कब तक, 1st April से लेकर के 31st August तक जो 2 क्वार्टर है उन क्वार्टर में प्रॉफिट है कि लॉस है। अगर प्रॉफिट है तो सॉर्टेड है भाई, तेरे को जो इंटरिम whatever interim dividend you have to give, I don't care. But again if there is a loss na, see boss, first of all you have a loss, why do you have to do hoshiyari and give your dividend? So one reason that company will always say is that अरे boss, although we have loss, we have always been giving dividend in the past, हम हर साल dividend दे रहे, we will also have to give dividend this year. So that makes sense. So in that case, if you are issuing interim dividend and you have losses, then there will again be a maximum limit, and this maximum limit for interim dividend is only on rate. हम rate के अलावा कुछ नहीं देखेंगे. The rate should be less than or equal to what it was there in the preceding 3 financial year. पिछले 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर में जो रेट था उससे ज्यादा रेट का डिविडेंड आप नहीं दे सकते. फॉर एग्जांपल इन द प्रीसीडिंग 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर द रेट वाज 7%, 9% and 11%. In that case, what is the average? The average is 9%, and you cannot give more than 9% interim dividend in the present financial year. Because why? Because you have losses in the company, and the reason that you are saying is, because we always give dividend, that is why we have to give dividend. Okay, so give average of what you have distributed in the last 3 years. So sir, now finally summarizing, if you can issue 2 types of dividend: final dividend, interim dividend. In case of final dividend, if current year mein you have profit, loss, in interim dividend in current year mein you have profit, loss. If you have profit, no limit. But if you have loss, in case of final dividend, you will see 3 things. First is rate, दूसरा is draw, third is balance. You'll see RDB. What is the maximum rate sir पिछले 3 साल का average? What is the maximum amount that you can draw? 10% of paid up share capital plus free reserve, and which after, by the way, after this adjustment of loss is very important. आपके loss का adjustment करना बहुत जरूरी है, loss in the current year. And balance क्या है कि आपका 15% of paid up share capital, तो balance बचना ही चाहिए. But when you come to loss of interim dividend, all you have to see is rate. Rate पिछले 3 साल के average से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए. Did you understand? सर 31st अगस्त या 30th सितंबर? अरे ये 30th सितंबर है यार, माफ कर दो यार बच्चे को, 30th सितंबर है यार, कहां गया ये? 30th सितंबर है दोस्तों, ये 30th सितंबर होगा. 2 क्वार्टर, बेसिकली 2 क्वार्टर. ठीक है, okay. Chalo guys, let's take a break. Let me just see if I have any concept that I want to cover in this particular point. 1 second. Okay sir, let me just take 5 minutes more, because I think break ke baad bhi, if we have lesser syllabus to cover, it will be very good for us. So sir, I'll tell you a little brief about how dividend, and actually in next 5 minutes मैं आपको आधे घंटे का कॉन्सेप्ट बता दूंगा. जिनको एक बार में समझ आ जाता है ना, उनकी तो लॉटरी है. लिसन टू मी वेरी केयरफुली. ओके गाइस, व्हाट हैपेंस इज अ कंपनी डिक्लेयर्ड डिविडेंड. For example, when did HUL declare dividend? When did HUL declare dividend? Was it the date on which the board recommended, or was it the date on which shareholder approved it? Sir, when a dividend is said to be declared, you have to take the date on which it was approved in the AGM. So the dividend was declared on 23rd of June. But in case of interim dividend, whenever the board declares it, that is the declared dividend ka date. Now, what will you do with the declared dividend? Arey boss, the 19 rupees per share का dividend declare हुआ है, तो next step क्या है? Next step तो यही है ना कि payment करना है. You have to make the payment. So what you will do is within 5 days of declaring the dividend. इधर आपने dividend declare किया, उसके 5 दिन के अंदर अंदर you will have a separate dividend account. Sir, you will legit go to a bank and you will open a new account. The name of the account will be something called as, say, final dividend financial year 22, 23, और भी आपको कुछ रेफरेंस देना है, डिविडेंड का कोई आईडी है तो वो नाम में दे सकते हो. दिस अकाउंट यू विल ओपन with whom? With any scheduled bank. Scheduled bank मतलब क्या सर? There is a list of banks which has been the name of which has been given, जिसमें सारे बैंक्स आते हैं ऑलमोस्ट. तो वो बैंक में जाके आप अकाउंट खुलवा लोगे और उस अकाउंट में आप 5 दिन के अंदर अंदर पैसा ट्रांसफर कर दोगे. क्यों सर? क्यों, क्या मतलब है? अरे बॉस, HUL has earned a profit of 20,000 crore. Now this 20,000 crore is already lying in one bank account. How will you keep a track of this 20,000 crore? How will you know whether they are not using it? अभी आपने dividend declare तो कर दिया है. Sir, can I tell you one thing? Dividend एक बार अगर declare हो जाता है ना भाई, एक बार अगर HUL ने 19 रुपीज per शेयर का dividend declare कर दिया, declare मतलब क्या, शेयर होल्डर्स ने approve कर दिया ना, there is no going back. There is nothing on this earth which can revoke this dividend. This dividend once declared has to be paid. आप डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर करके ये नहीं बोल सकते कि मैं पेमेंट नहीं करूंगा किसी भी कारण से. एक छोटे मोटे 1-2 एक्सेप्शन है, जैसे कि वॉर हो गया, ऐसा कुछ, बट उसके अलावा सर वेरी जनरली स्पीकिंग एंड वेरी डीपली स्पीकिंग, डिविडेंड वंस डिक्लेयर्ड कैनॉट बी रिवोक्ड. तो भाई तूने अगर ये डिविडेंड अगर डिक्लेयर कर दिया ना, यू विल हैव टू कीप द मनी सेपरेटली. सो व्हाट यू विल गो डू इज यू विल गो एंड ओपन अ सेपरेट बैंक अकाउंट. इन दिस बैंक अकाउंट वट एवर मनी यू वांटेड टू गिव ना, दैट मनी यू विल ब्रिंग हियर. So that now your money is safe. Now, within how many days will you have to do it? Within 5 days of declaring this. After you send it to a separate bank account, now listen to me very carefully. After you have actually declared it, within 30 days, the dividend has to be paid. If you declared it on 23rd of June, by within 30 days, how much is 30 days from 23rd of June? June के 7 दिन और ले लो क्योंकि 30 जून होते हैं, और जुलाई के 23 दिन ले लो. So by 23rd of July now, this has to be paid. Sir, law said that by 23rd of July it has to be paid. Although HUL is a very good company in terms of compliances, so HUL immediately transferred it to a separate bank account. It was declared on 23rd June. उसने तुरंत ट्रांसफर किया बैंक अकाउंट में. कितना ही टाइम लगता है, और तुरंत सबको पैसे भेजने शुरू कर दिए. 4 दिन के अंदर अंदर पैसे आ भी गए. So, but however, लॉ कितना टाइम देता है आपको? लॉ says that जिस दिन आपने डिक्लेयर किया उसके 30 दिन के अंदर अंदर पे हो जाना चाहिए, और पे करने के लिए 5 दिन के अंदर अंदर आपको एक सेपरेट अकाउंट में यू विल हैव टू ट्रांसफर. दैट सेपरेट अकाउंट इज कॉल्ड एज डिविडेंड अकाउंट. आर यू गेटिंग मी गाइज? आर यू हियर? आर यू हियर? Yes, you are here. So now you will have to pay it within 30 days, and within 5 days you'll have to declare. Sir, what if you are not able to pay this dividend within 30 days? There can be n number of reasons why dividend is not being paid. बहुत सारे कारण हो सकते हैं जिसकी वजह से डिविडेंड 30 दिन के अंदर पे नहीं हो पा रहा है. अगर 30 दिन के अंदर डिविडेंड पे नहीं हो पा रहा है तो आप क्या करोगे बताऊं? शॉर्ट में बताऊं, थोड़ा सा शॉर्ट में आप क्या करोगे? अगर ये 30 दिन के अंदर पे नहीं हो पा रहा है ना, तो आप फिर 7 दिन के अंदर अंदर एक नया अकाउंट खोलोगे जिसको कहते हैं अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट. क्या कहा मैंने? अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट खोलोगे 7 दिन के अंदर अंदर. और 7 दिन के अंदर अंदर ये जो पैसा है ना डिविडेंड अकाउंट में था, उसको ये अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में भेज दोगे. सो फॉर एग्जांपल सर, आपने डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया 100 करोड़ का, उसमें से 80 करोड़ आराम से पे हो गया, लेकिन 20 करोड़ अभी तक पे नहीं हो पाया. क्या रीजन से, क्यों, वो मैं ब्रेक के बाद बताऊंगा आपको. तो आप इसको ट्रांसफर करोगे अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में. और इस अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में कितने समय तक रहेगा सर? ये जिस दिन से आपने ट्रांसफर किया ना, उस दिन से लेकर के 7 साल तक ये अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में रहेगा. कितने साल तक सर? 7 साल तक. सो इफ फॉर एग्जांपल एचयूएल डिक्लेयर डिविडेंड और मेरे को किसी कारण से वो डिविडेंड नहीं मिला, सो बाय द एंड ऑफ 30 days, within 7 days they'll transfer it to a UDA account. After transferring to UDA account, they'll keep it in that account for 7 years. Now in this 7 years कभी भी मैं एचयूएल के पास जा सकता हूं और एचयूएल को बोल सकता हूं एचयूएल एचयूएल मेरा डिविडेंड दो। अब सर जब आप किसी अकाउंट में रखते हो तो आपको इंटरेस्ट भी मिलते हैं, you also get interest. So if I go and claim my dividend, I'll say भाई मेरा 90 रुपीज पर शेयर के हिसाब से 380 रुपीज का डिविडेंड होता है, वो मेरे को दो। तो वो आपको 380 रुपीज भी देंगे, साथ साथ में जो भी इंटरेस्ट आपको मिल रहा है ना वो भी देंगे आपको। और लेकिन सर ये 7 साल खत्म हो गए और उसके बाद भी मैंने अपना डिविडेंड नहीं मांगा, तो सर जब ये 7 साल खत्म हो जाता है ना, फिर ये पैसा आप भेजते हो एक फंड में। किसका फंड सर? सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का फंड में। लॉ ये कहता है कि कंपनी एचयूएल वो जो 380 रुपए शुभम के थे वो शुभम को देना है, पर अगर शुभम मिल ही नहीं रहा है देने के लिए तो तू कैसे रखेगा भाई? तू नहीं रख सकता, यू कांट कीप इट। वेयर यू विल हैव टू गिव इट? यू विल हैव टू गिव इट टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट। सो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट विल क्रिएट अ फंड कॉल्ड एज इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन एंड प्रोटेक्शन फंड। Sir, take a moment to stop and say hi to IEPF. This is a very important fund. You'll keep listening to it till CA final. Investor Education and Protection Fund. As the name itself suggests, it is a fund. एक पैसा इकट्ठा कर रहे हैं जहां पे जो खर्चा होगा, the objective of this fund will be to promote दी एजुकेशन ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स। जो हम लोग इन्वेस्टर होते हैं, हम लोग का एजुकेशन प्रमोट करना। तो इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन प्रोटेक्शन फंड इज अ फंड विच इज डेवलप्ड बाय सीजी। और अगर 7 साल में आपका कोई क्लेम करने नहीं आ रहा है ना, तो आप वो पैसे आईपीएफ में भेज दोगे। अब सर पैसे जब आप आईपीएफ में भेजोगे ना, तो इसके बाद वो पैसे हमेशा के लिए आईपीएफ के पास ही रहेंगे। अब सर अगर शुभम सो के उठा एक दिन, इफ शुभम वोक अप वन फाइन डे हियर एंड ही वांट्स हिज डिविडेंड बैक, if Shubham woke up and he wants his dividend back, he can go to IEPF also and claim his dividend. वो IEPF में जाकर के भी अपना डिविडेंड क्लेम कर सकता है कि आईपीएफ मेरे को एचयूएल ने 10 साल पहले एक डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर किया था, आई कुड नॉट क्लेम दैट डिविडेंड हैज कम टू यू, कैन यू गिव मी दैट डिविडेंड? सो IEPF विल वेरीफाई योर क्लेम एंड विल गिव यू डिविडेंड, एंड दिस इज हाउ योर डिविडेंड इज बेसिकली पेड। सर दो अकाउंट खुलेगा, एक नॉर्मल डिविडेंड पेमेंट अकाउंट, एक अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट। और अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट का पैसा जो है, अगर वो और भी अनपेड बच गया तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? वो चला जाएगा आईईपीएफ में। सर यूडीए अकाउंट इज अ न्यू बैंक अकाउंट? एब्सोल्युटली यस, एब्सोल्युटली यस। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप एचयूएल के बुक्स में जाओगे ना, इफ यू गो टू एचयूएल बुक्स, इफ यू गो टू बैंक अकाउंट्स, you will see unpaid dividend account for this particular year, unpaid dividend account for this particular year, so that आपको पता रहेगा अच्छा इस अकाउंट में ना 1 करोड़ रुपए बचे, अच्छा इस अकाउंट के ना 2 करोड़ रुपए बचे, तो आपको पता रहेगा कौन से साल का डिविडेंड कौन सा कितना ड्यू है। ठीक है, चलो गाइस। Sir, I saw your video on your YouTube channel related to preparation for November 22. My 50% syllabus is complete and not yet started. Should I go for? भाई ये सब ना YouTube में करेंगे या फिर जो Zoom सेशन होता है वो मेरे ग्रुप में वो करेंगे, यहाँ पे क्लास है। ठीक है, चलो गाइस। Sir, why is it unpaid? Rishabh is asking why is it unpaid? I'll tell you after the break. I'll explain you everything how is a dividend unpaid or unclaimed. We will continue after the break. The time now is 8:31. We will continue the class at 8:45. Take a 15 minutes break and we will continue the class till 9:30 or 9:45. I think 9:30 तक हो जाएगा। ठीक है, see you after the break. हाँ जी दोस्तों, वापस आए क्या? अरे बोलो बोलो, वापस आए क्या? हम्म सर, लेट्स कंटिन्यू. A very good question. Sir, when I spoke about maximum rate of dividend, maximum rate of final dividend in case of loss, where did I speak about this, sir? In our chart, if you see this one, for final dividend, when I spoke about rate, I said that the rate should not be more than average rate of the last 3 financial year. And then I gave you this example wherein I said that, कहाँ गया भाई? हाँ. Wherein I said that if the rate is 8%, 10%, 12%, what will be the rate? The average rate will be 10%. Got it, sir? And now your dividend cannot be more than 10%. Got it, sir? But what if case number one, what if there was no dividend in this particular year? In 1922, there was no dividend. What if there was no dividend? Sorry, there was no dividend in this year. What in that case? In that case, in out of these 3 years, अगर एक भी साल में ऐसा हुआ कि यू डोंट हैव नॉट गिवन प्रॉफिट, देन दिस फर्स्ट रेट वाला जो लिमिट है ना, दैट यू विल नॉट चेक ओनली. सर क्या 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 व्हाट? आई एम सेइंग that you need 3 years to calculate average. But out of these 3 years, if there is even 1 year if you have in which you have not given dividend, then in that case ये जो रेट वाला पूरा पॉइंट है ना, दैट 3 साल के एवरेज रेट से ज्यादा नहीं होना चाहिए, ये पूरा पॉइंट ही डिलीट कर दोगे. मतलब क्या? आपके फिर कंडीशंस में पहला वाला कंडीशन रहेगा ही नहीं, सिर्फ सेकंड और थर्ड कंडीशन रहेगा. टोटल देयर आर 3 कंडीशन. फर्स्ट कंडीशन टॉक्स अबाउट रेट. बट however, if the rate, if the dividend was not declared in any of the each of the 3 financial year, then in that case this first condition you will not check only. This rule, this sub rule shall not apply in this case. This is the first point that I wanted to say. Now case number 2, sir, in the same example, if I say that instead of no rate, what I'll tell you is 1920 में भी loss था, 1920 में भी there was loss. And 1920 में we took dividend of past 3 years and we arrived at a average dividend of 7%. At an average dividend of 7%, and we declared a dividend of 7%. क्या हुआ था सर? क्या हुआ था? आप इस फाइनेंशियल ईयर में हो, आप पिछले 3 साल का डेटा देख रहे हो. In 1920, what had happened was in 1920 also there was loss. So you saw dividend data of past 3 years and you arrived at the average dividend. And you arrived that the average dividend is 7% and you declared 7%. तो अब क्या करोगे सर? अब कुछ नहीं करना. It is normal. The law is only telling you of the last 3 financial year, you check what is the percentage. Of the last 3 financial year, you check what is the percentage. In this 1920, तुमको प्रॉफिट था, लॉस था, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? ऑल यू हैव टू चेक इज डिविडेंड दिया था. हाँ दिया था. कितना दिया था? 7% दिया था. हाँ चल भाई 7% ले और आगे बढ़. तो 7% प्लस 7 प्लस 10 प्लस 12, इसका एवरेज जो आएगा वो आपका मैक्सिमम डिविडेंड हो जाएगा. जो एवरेज आएगा वो आपका मैक्सिमम डिविडेंड हो जाएगा. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड? दीज 2 क्वेश्चंस वर इन द डाउट, सो आई टुक इट. ओफो ओफो. सर स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रहा था, आपने बताया नहीं. ओफो ओफो. अब दिख रहा है तुमको मेरा बोर्ड? इतनी मेहनत की मैंने. गाइस, अब दिख रही है आपको मेरी स्क्रीन? Can you see my screen now, guys? Guys, सर थोड़ा प्लीज एक्टिव रहेंगे आप. गाइस, कमिंग बैक. सर बट फिर भी समझ आ गया. अरे वेरी गुड, क्या बात है, होशियार लोग. आ जाओ, सुनो. What was I saying, sir? I was saying I just wanted to say 2 points, which is very important. So I'll repeat one last time. You have to see average rate of last 3 financial year, correct? Average rate of last 3 financial year. So financial year 1, financial year 2, financial year 3. If any of the financial year, if there was no dividend now, then this whole provision of average rate will not be applicable. मतलब आपके यहाँ पे जो 3 conditions है ना, 3 condition, पहला, दूसरा, तीसरा, उसमें पहला कंडीशन जो रेट का है वो एप्लीकेबल ही नहीं होगा अगर आपने, इफ यू डिड नॉट डिक्लेयर डिविडेंड इन एनी ऑफ द 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर, प्रीसीडिंग 3 फाइनेंशियल ईयर, एक भी साल में नहीं दिया ना, तो ये प्रोविजन ही एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. दूसरा, अगर मान लो आप ये बोल रहे हो कि यहाँ पे लॉस था, तो हमने पिछले 3 साल का एवरेज निकाल करके यहाँ पे परसेंटेज डिविडेंड दे दिया. दैट डजंट मैटर. ऑल दैट मैटर्स टू यू इज परसेंटेज. यहाँ पे 8% था, वो जिस तरीके से भी निकाला हो आपने 8%, हमको उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. यहाँ 8% था, यहाँ 10% था, 12% था, तो आपका एवरेज 10% आ जाएगा. ओके, चलो, आई डिड री एक्सप्लेन. नाउ लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड. ओके गाइस, सुनो. Coming back to our points, few more smaller points, and then we will read from our notes because that is where every point is covered. Few more smaller points, sir. सबसे पहला, dividend is only supposed to be given to 3 people. Dividend can only be given to 3 people. First is registered shareholder. What is registered shareholder, sir? Registered shareholder means a shareholder whose name appears in the register of members. Sir, do you know when you purchase a share, your name is entered into a register called as register of member. In this, your name will come. For example, my name, Shubham Singhal's name came for 20 shares in the register of HUL. So I am eligible for dividend. Now, imagine a situation, what happened? Shubham Singhal went to whom? Who is the most active guy in this group? Who is the most active guy? Ankit. जिसको नींद भी बहुत आती है, समझ भी कम आता है, पर एक्टिव भी बहुत रहता है. Ankit. Mr. Ankit, I went to Mr. Ankit and I said, Ankit, I have 20 shares of HUL. Do you want to buy it? Ankit said, yes, I want to buy it. Sir, in today's scenario, आज के डेट में at present what happens is you all have demat account. All of us have demat account. So if I sell to Ankit today I'll sell, tomorrow it will reach Ankit's demat account. But it doesn't, it was not the case earlier. पहले there used to be share certificate, you know, share certificate, physical share certificates आते थे. Those share certificates were issued by the company. So I had share certificate of HUL. I went to Ankit and I said, Ankit, ये share certificate है जिसपे मेरा नाम लिखा है. I want to sell this share to you. Ankit said, okay, कितने में दोगे बताओ. So we decided on a price and we decided that the final amount will be 50,000 rupees that Ankit will have to pay me. Ankit paid me this 50,000 rupees. And I gave Ankit this share certificate. मैंने अपने नाम का share certificate अंकित को दे दिया. Now what Ankit will have to do is, Ankit will have to go to the company, HUL, and say, company, I have purchased this share and this share is now mine. Here is the share certificate. Can you remove Shubham's name from the register of member and include mine? Include my name. Remove his name and include my name. So company will remove my name and include Ankit का name. Now what will happen is, अंकित जब गया ना कंपनी के पास, उस दौरान क्या हुआ था? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हियर दिस इज द डेट ऑन विच द शेयर्स वर ट्रांसफर्ड. एसएस सोल्ड टू एजी. अंकित गुप्ता है ना, एजी. हाँ. एंड दिस इज द डेट व्हेन अंकित गुप्ता वेंट टू कंपनी फॉर रजिस्ट्रेशन. बट द कंपनी हैड डिक्लेयर्ड डिविडेंड और इस बीच में रिकॉर्ड डेट आ गया. तो क्या हुआ? तो हुआ ये कि कंपनी के रजिस्टर ऑफ मेंबर्स में तो शुभम सिंघल का नाम दिख रहा है, और जो कंपनी है ना, इट कैन पे डिविडेंड ओनली टू हिज रजिस्टर्ड शेयर होल्डर. सो इन दिस केस द शेयर्स हेल्ड आर इन द नेम ऑफ शुभम. सो ओनली शुभम विल बी एलिजिबल टू गेट द मनी. तो सर फिर ये तो गलत हो गया ना, पैसे तो अंकित को मिलने चाहिए, तो शुभम को किसे मिल रहा है? सो इन सच केस व्हाट यूजुअली हैपेंस इज, वी विल रीड टुमारो, विल रीड अ सेक्शन कॉल्ड सेक्शन 126. वी विल रीड अ सेक्शन called section 126 in which we will see that ऐसे केस में क्या होता है. ऐसे केस में कंपनी पेमेंट होल्ड कर लेती है. ऐसे केस में पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड होल्ड कर लेती है जब तक आपका शेयर का ट्रांसफर रजिस्टर्ड नहीं हो जाता. Once your share transfer is registered, then it gives the dividend to the new shareholder instead of the old. But उसके लिए उनको शुभम सिंघल का ऑर्डर लगेगा. शुभम सिंघल मतलब मैं एक आई विल राइट अ लेटर टू द कंपनी दैट कंपनी डोंट वरी, Ankit has validly purchased my shares and I confirm that you can give the dividend to Ankit. If you give the dividend to Ankit, tomorrow I'll not come and ask you for the dividend. I'll not come and blame you. You can very well go and give dividend to Ankit. ऐसा कौन बोलेगा? शुभम सिंघल जाके तब जाके कंपनी अंकित को पेमेंट कर देगी, वरना वो डिविडेंड होल्ड हो जाएगा. और इसी तरीके से तो भैया अनपेड डिविडेंड आता है. ये जो डिविडेंड होल्ड हो गया, क्यों होल्ड हो गया? क्योंकि शेयर का ट्रांसफर हुआ है. अब अंकित को देना है, शुभम को देना है, किसको पता? तो इसीलिए कंपनी ने पेमेंट होल्ड कर लिया. और होल्ड कर लेते हैं ना, तो यही वो पैसा है जो बच जाता है. और अगर बच गया ना, तो 30 दिन के खत्म होने के बाद विद इन 7 days यू विल ओपन अ न्यू अकाउंट कॉल्ड अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट एंड यू विल ट्रांसफर दिस मनी टू दैट अकाउंट. And once that issue is solved, you will remove money from that account and along with interest, you'll give to Ankit or Shubham as the case may be. समझे सर? Yes sir, समझे. So I was saying dividend can be given to first registered shareholder. If not registered shareholder, तो registered shareholder order करेगा कि किसको देना है, उसको हम दे देंगे. मतलब क्या? अगर शुभम सिंघल रजिस्टर्ड होल्डर है और शुभम सिंघल लिख के देते हैं कि भैया मेरा शेयर है लेकिन आप पैसा अंकित को दे दो, तो हम अंकित को पैसा दे देंगे, हमको उनका ऑर्डर चाहिए. और तीसरा, या फिर रजिस्टर्ड होल्डर कहेगा मेरे बैंकर को दे दो. मतलब आप एक्सिस बैंक को दे दो, हम एक्सिस बैंक से ले लेंगे, तो आप बैंकर को भी दे सकते हो. सो द मनी कैन बी गिवन बाय द डिविडेंड कैन बी गिवन टू अ रजिस्टर्ड होल्डर और बाय हिज और द पर्सन टू हिज ऑर्डर और टू हिज बैंकर. बस ये 3 लोगों को दे सकते हैं और किसी को नहीं दे सकते. सर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, नेक्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. सर नेक्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, डिविडेंड कैनॉट बी पेड एक्सेप्ट इन कैश. डिविडेंड cannot be paid except in cash. मतलब क्या सर? क्या मतलब? क्या मतलब? क्या मतलब? मतलब ये तुम ये नहीं बोल सकते, HUL ये नहीं बोल सकता कि भैया डिविडेंड है ना, डिविडेंड छोड़ दे, एक काम कर तू बदले में चौकोलिबे ले ले, मतलब एलपेलीबे ले ले, चौकोलिबे ले ले, जो भी ले ले. यू कैन नॉट टेक डिविडेंड इन काइंड. मतलब क्या? इन काइंड इज नॉट अलाउड, ओनली कैश इज अलाउड. सर ये एलपेली, ये वो होता है ना, you go to a pawn shop, you buy something and you ask for change and instead of change they give you a chocolate. Boss, you give me cash, don't give me in kind. Similarly, when a company is declaring dividend, it has to give dividend in cash. Sir, company के केस में in kind क्या होगा? In kind मतलब क्या? कंपनी ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए कि डिविडेंड के बदले में हम आपको क्या दे देंगे पता है? हम आपको बोनस शेयर दे देते हैं, हम आपको बोनस शेयर दे देते हैं. ऐसा नहीं होगा भाई, ऐसा नहीं होगा. See, listen to me very carefully. If a company wants to declare dividend, a company has profit, okay? Now, there are different ways you can give this profit to the shareholder. If you want to declare dividend, you declare dividend. If you want to issue bonus shares, you issue bonus shares. If you want to convert partly paid shares into fully paid shares, you convert fully paid shares. उसके अलग अलग रूल्स है, वो आप कर लो. पर अगर आप डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर कर रहे हो ना, तो डिविडेंड का पैसा you will have to give in cash. You cannot say that we are giving you a dividend and in that dividend we are giving you bonus shares. No boss. Bonus shares, there is a line, I'm writing a line. Bonus shares in lieu of dividend not allowed. क्या है सर ये? इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब मैं आपको दूसरे तरीके से समझाता हूं. चौकोलिबे in lieu of ₹1 coin not allowed. In lieu of मतलब बदले में. ₹1 के बदले में चौकोलिबे चॉकलेट मत दे भाई. डिविडेंड के बदले में बोनस मत दे. डिविडेंड देना है, डिविडेंड बोला है, डिविडेंड दो. डिविडेंड यू विल गिव इन कैश. सो सर नाउ अंडरस्टूड. बहुत समझाते हो सर आप, ज्यादा समझा देते हो थोड़ा कभी कभी ना. डिविडेंड यू कैन नॉट गिव इन काइंड, यू विल हैव टू गिव इन कैश. यू गॉट इट राइट? Now, my question to you is, company said that I don't want to give dividend in cash. I want to give the dividend in bank account, or I want to give the dividend via check. My question is, can it be done? अरे boss, absolutely it can be done. Cash मतलब वो रोकड़ा नहीं. कैश मतलब रोकड़ा नहीं, पेटी में डाल के पैसे नहीं भेजने. कैश मीन्स व्हाट? Cash means you give it in bank, you give it a check, you give electronic clearing system. मतलब इस तरीके से online payment से you can give. So I got the HUL का पैसा, where did I get? I got it directly credited in my bank account. So cash means what? In money. In money. Don't give it in kind. That is what the law says. When law says that dividend cannot be given except in cash. So if you want to pay dividend, you can pay dividend in check. You can pay dividend in bank account. You can pay dividend via electronic system. There is also a system called as dividend warrant. There is also a system called as dividend warrant. Dividend warrant matlab kya? You will get a you will get a warrant. You'll this warrant, if you take to say HDFC Bank, this HDFC Bank will give you cash in return. So this warrant will say that Shubham Singhal, who has this warrant, is eligible for a dividend of rupees 380. And if I take this warrant certificate, ये warrant मेरे को किधर से आएगा? HUL will post this warrant to me, and once I receive this warrant, I'll go to my nearest bank and I'll ask them for the dividend. Capitalization of profit. Issuing bonus shares or converting partly paid shares into fully paid shares is called as capitalization of profit. But dividend ka payment is distribution of profit. Agar aap dividend ka payment karo, you cannot issue bonus shares, or you cannot convert partly paid up shares into fully paid up shares in lieu of issuing of dividend. Did you understand? Yes, sir. You understood. You understood everything, sir. Ab Sir, उसके बाद क्या है? उसके बाद there are some contraventions and stuff. We will move forward. This broadly was your section 123. अभी तक जो पढ़ा अपन ने, this was your section 123, which spoke about declaration of dividend. कैसे declare करोगे, कितना percentage होगा, क्या होगा. अब हम बात करते हैं पेमेंट के बारे में. Declaration में हमने एक ही पॉइंट पढ़ा था कि 5 दिन के अंदर अंदर you have to transfer it to a separate account called as dividend. एक dividend account में you'll have to transfer the fund. But once you declare now, you also have to make the payment, right? So section 124 actually 123 said two things. First is make the payment within 30 days. एंड 30 डेज में पेमेंट तो करोगे ही, लेकिन 5 दिन के अंदर अंदर आप क्या करोगे? डिविडेंड अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर कर दो. गाइस प्लीज नोट द स्टार्ट डेट. द स्टार्ट डेट इज डेट ऑफ डिक्लेरेशन. डेट ऑफ डिक्लेरेशन मतलब क्या? इन केस ऑफ फाइनल डिविडेंड द डेट ऑफ डिक्लेरेशन इज एजीएम में जब अप्रूव हुआ था. इन केस ऑफ इंटरिम डिविडेंड द डेट ऑफ डिक्लेरेशन इज व्हेन बोर्ड अप्रूव्स इट, राइट? व्हेनेवर इट इज डिक्लेयर्ड, उसके 30 दिन के अंदर यू हैव टू पे. तो पहले तो 5 दिन के अंदर सेपरेट बैंक अकाउंट में ट्रांसफर कर दो. उसके बाद उस दिन के बाद यू विल गेट 25 days to transfer it to the respective shareholders. Now, what is section 124? Section 124 talks about unpaid dividend account. Sir, what happens is, understand, there are two words, okay? There are two words that I'm going to explain now. At the end of 30 days, what must have happened? See, for example, we wanted to declare 100 crore, we wanted to pay 100 crores of dividend. उसमें से 90 crores तो we paid आराम से. So today all the shares are in demat account, and every demat account is linked to a bank account. So it has become so easy to collect dividend. The company has to just take all the bank account और सब में पैसे भेज दिए, हो गया खत्म. But because here, even if you are holding shares of HUL, one share of HUL if you are holding, you will get a dividend of 19 rupees in your bank account. So how easy it has become. But earlier, imagine a scenario wherein there are 1 lakh shareholders. There are 1 lakh shareholders. Okay, all of them have physical certificate. Now, when you know that HUL has declared dividend, you have to take that physical certificate and you have to go to bank, and you have to go to the nearest center and you have to say, "Arey, मेरे को मेरा dividend दो, मेरे को मेरा dividend दो." Imagine what level of hassle it must have used to be, right? So from earlier point of view, think you will understand it better. What happened with this remaining 10 crore was, out of this 10 crore, 5 crore was unclaimed, and 5 crore was unpaid. Sir, 5 crore was unclaimed, 5 crore was unpaid. What is unclaimed? What is unpaid? Unclaimed means what happened? So for example, in today's scenario also, what happens is you have sent check to someone. This company HUL sent a check to Shubham Singhal. मैंने चेक भेज दिया और चेक मेरे पास समय पे आ गया. अब मेरे को वो चेक को बैंक अकाउंट में ले जाना पड़ेगा ना. मैंने बोला यार क्या 380 रुपए के लिए बैंक जाएंगे, इतना दूर है, कार में जाएंगे, आएंगे, 200 रुपए का तो पेट्रोल खर्च हो जाएगा. मैं गया ही नहीं बैंक में. And I'm not even intending to go to bank. So that is called as unclaimed amount. That is, we are giving the money, but the person is not claiming his money. So how will we give him the money? So in that case, it is unclaimed. What is unpaid, sir? What is unpaid? What is unpaid? Unpaid is basically what? If for example, जैसा कि मैंने आपको example बताया, शुभम सिंघल के shares अंकित को गए. Abhi the company is confused whether I should give to Shubham Singhal or whether I should give to Ankit, because the company doesn't want to fall in any kind of litigation. Litigation मतलब बाद में उसको legal cases वगैरह नहीं चाहिए. So the company on a safer side, what it did was it held the payment. It held the payment and said, boss तुम आपस में figure out कर लो. Finally मेरे को एक letter मिल जाएगा ना तो मैं अंकित को payment कर दूंगा. For example, कंपनी को ना, कंपनी हैज द परमिशन टू पे टू रजिस्टर्ड शेयर होल्डर. तो अगर कंपनी शुभम सिंघल को पेमेंट करता है ना तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन शुभम सिंघल क्या बोल रहा है कंपनी को कि मेरे को पेमेंट नहीं चाहिए, तुम अंकित को कर दो. तो कंपनी क्या करेगा? कंपनी होल्ड करेगा वो पेमेंट टिल द टाइम अंकित बिकम्स अ रजिस्टर्ड शेयर होल्डर. और जैसे ही अंकित रजिस्टर्ड शेयर होल्डर हो जाएगा वो उसको पेमेंट कर देगा. तो उसको कहते हैं सर अनपेड अमाउंट. सो देयर कैन बी टू रीजंस व्हाई सम पेमेंट इज लाइंग विद द कंपनी. 90 करोड़ तो आराम से डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो गए, बात खत्म. जो 10 करोड़ बचे उसमें रीजंस अलग अलग हो सकते हैं. जो भी रीजन है भाई जो भी रीजन है, सबसे पहले तो तू इसको अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट से निकाल और इसको तू यहां से निकाल और तू 7 दिन के अंदर विद इन 7 days यू ट्रांसफर इट टू एन अकाउंट कॉल्ड एज अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट. फिर ये अकाउंट तेरा इररिलेवेंट हो जाएगा. सर पहले आपने एक सेपरेट बैंक अकाउंट खुलवाया जिसमें आपने डिविडेंड के पैसे डाले 100 करोड़, उसमें से 90 करोड़ बाहर गए. अब ये 10 करोड़ बाहर निकल के चले जाएंगे एक अकाउंट में, द नेम ऑफ विच इज अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट. गाइस, ऑल्दो 2 kinds ऑफ मनी गोज इनटू दिस अकाउंट, अनपेड एंड अनक्लेम्ड. अनपेड और अनक्लेम्ड दोनों जाता है, बट इसका नाम सिर्फ अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट है, बिकॉज इवन इफ इट इज अनक्लेम्ड इट इज अनपेड ना. आपने पेमेंट तो किया नहीं है, सो इट इज एन अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट. अरे तुमको समझ आ रहा है क्या गाइस? किसी को वीडियो लैग हो रहा है? एनीवन फेसिंग वीडियो लैग? गाइस गाइज अगर आप लोगों को वीडियो कनेक्टिविटी इशू होती है ना तो आप लोग लिखा करो मैसेज में. और टेक टीम आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू कि एटलीस्ट स्टॉप मी. Okay, when there is a video lag, please at least let me know so that I can stop, because people don't get to listen. Anyway, guys, we'll finish the class early today. There are connectivity issues. We'll finish the class early today. Just let me finish this one concept, okay? Please listen to me very carefully. This is the most important part, huh? So early as in 9:30, huh? Early as in we'll finish the class today at 9:30. तुमको क्या लगा अभी खत्म कर दूंगा? मेरी बात सुनो गाइस, जब इतना इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक हो तो क्लास कैसे खत्म होती है यार? मेरी बात तो सुनो. What am I saying? Within, even though the name is unpaid, even though unpaid and unclaimed amount both goes into this, you will have to create an unpaid dividend account. In this unpaid dividend account, you will put all the money. So this account is now irrelevant. This has zero balance. Okay. Now what you will do is, so 30 days के अंदर you have to pay. I'll keep on repeating this timeline, huh? 30 days के अंदर you'll have to pay. If you're not able to pay within 7 days, what you will do, you will transfer this to unpaid dividend account. Sir, after transferring also, you'll do one very amazing thing. From the date of this last date, once you have made the transfer, within next 90 days, you will do something. What will you do, sir? You'll create a statement. You'll create a statement of all the unpaid or unclaimed amount. उसमें आप लिखोगे नेम क्या है, what is the name, what is the address, name place thing animal नहीं भाई. You will write down what is the name. For example, Shubham Singhal didn't get its dividend. I didn't get my dividend. What this company will do is it will update a list in which it will say that name is Shubham Singhal. The address is, say, whatever address you have, and what is the unpaid dividend amount. So for example, rupees 380 is unpaid. This amount will be updated in this particular statement. In this particular statement, this amount will be updated, and you will say that boss, this is the detail. And ऐसे सारे शेयर होल्डर का आप एक स्टेटमेंट बनाओगे, और स्टेटमेंट बना के you will upload this on your website. In whose website, sir? In HUL का खुद का website, that is company's website, and such other website as the central government may deem fit. सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट आपको प्रेस्क्राइब करेगा, उन वेबसाइट में भी डाल देना. बट व्हाट इज द रीजन फॉर दिस स्टेटमेंट सर? दिस रीजन फॉर द स्टेटमेंट इज इट इज अ काइंड ऑफ नोटिस for all the shareholders. For example, some of shareholders visit the website often, very often. They can go and they can see whether their name appears in the statement. So this is a statement of all the unpaid amount. So the 10 crore that is unpaid now, for that 10 crore they'll release such a statement, sir, within 90 days. Within 90 days of what? Within 90 days of transfer. भाई एक समय पे तुम्हारे पास एक ही काम होगा. सबसे पहला काम तुम्हारे पास ये है कि 5 दिन के अंदर अकाउंट खुलवा लो. ठीक है, और उसके साथ साथ तुमको पेमेंट तो करना ही है. पेमेंट का ही एक पार्ट है 5 दिन में अकाउंट खुलवा लो. उसके बाद 25 दिन में यू विल हैव टू मेक द पेमेंट. इफ 25 डेज में यू आर नॉट एबल टू मेक द पेमेंट, यू विल गेट 7 डेज टू ट्रांसफर. 7 डेज में आफ्टर यू ट्रांसफर यू विल गेट 90 डेज टू क्रिएट दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट. आफ्टर विथिन दिस स्टेटमेंट, within 90 days you'll have to create the statement and you'll also have to upload it on the website of the company or the central government. Now please understand a scenario, sir. It may so happen, listen to me very carefully. There are two things. One is unclaimed, one is unpaid. Now there is a problem, sir. For example, Shubham Singhal के केस में Hindustan Unilever declared a dividend of rupees 380 on Shubham Singhal. Now Shubham Singhal didn't had bank's account registered with HUL. कितने दिन के अंदर पेमेंट करना होता है इसे डिविडेंड का? Dividend is to be paid within 30 days. Right? Now listen to me very carefully, you'll get confused. If dividend is not paid within 30 days, then in that case HUL will have to pay a penalty interest of 18% per annum. Kya? Sir, I'm saying, for example, in my case, if Shubham Singhal went to HUL and said HUL को बोला मेरा डिविडेंड दो, और सर शुभम सिंघल provided every information, provided the right bank statement, provided the right bank account number, provided the right demat account number, everything I provided, right? And despite that, if HUL is failing to make the payment, मतलब the delay in making of the payment is because of HUL. अगर HUL नहीं पे कर रहा है जानबूझ के, तो there will be an interest of 18% per annum. It will have to pay a interest of 18% per annum. Why, sir? Because HUL की गलती है. And there is a second penalty also, not for payment to shareholders. There is a second penalty also. सुनना, 30 दिन खत्म हो गए, 30 दिन में आपको पेमेंट करना था, you didn't pay. What you have to do is within next 7 days you will have to transfer to unpaid dividend account. But sir, you didn't even transfer the money to unpaid dividend account. 10 crore रुपए you had to transfer to unpaid dividend account. You didn't transfer that 10 crore rupees. What will happen in that case? After this, an interest will start at the rate of 12% per annum. Sir, so for example, I'll tell you, 100 crore was the total amount of dividend. 90 crores was paid. 10 crores was remaining. This 10 crore mein, for example, if 1 crore is a mistake of HUL, that 1 crore pay 18% per annum interest, HUL will pay to that particular shareholder. Let me tell you, make this example more easy for you. If this 10 crore is to be paid to 10 shareholders, can I say this 10 crore has to be paid to 10 shareholders? Sir, मेरी बात ध्यान से सुनना, बहुत concept clear हो जाएंगे. 10 crore is to be paid to 10 shareholders. Now, out of this, one shareholder was Shubham Singhal, to whom 1 crore was supposed to be paid. वाह, life हो तो ऐसी. But 1 crore was supposed to be paid. This 1 crore was not being paid because of fault of company. Then in that case, this company will have to pay 18% per annum के rate के हिसाब से interest after the end of this 30th day to Shubham Singhal. जब भी पे करोगे interest के साथ पे कर देना, ठीक है? उसके अलावा now you were supposed to transfer this whole 10 crore, पूरा का पूरा 10 crore you will supposed to transfer to UDA. That also you didn't do. When were you supposed to do it, sir? Within 7 days? That you didn't do. So if you didn't do it within 7 days and you kept it for say 6 months, so for this 6 months you will have to pay 6% per annum का interest, because the interest rate is that 12% per annum. अगर आप टाइम पे नहीं ट्रांसफर करते हो ये 10 करोड़, so you will have to pay 12% per annum. So for example, the delay was by 6 months. So you'll have to pay 6% per 6%. So 6% of 10 crore will be 60 lakh rupees. So now when you're transferring to unpaid dividend account, you will transfer 10.6 crore. And this 10.6 crore will now be divided among 10 shareholders. तो शुभम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से सोचना, शुभम को तो पहले ये 18% इंटरेस्ट तो मिलेगा ही, और साथ साथ में उसको ये डिले इन ट्रांसफर टू यूडीए अकाउंट का भी पैसा मिलेगा. सर डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड, ये जो डीले इन ट्रांसफर ऑफ अकाउंट का जो इंटरेस्ट होता है ना, इसका बेनिफिट विल अक्रू टू द मेंबर्स ओनली. जिनका अनपेड है ना, जिनका अनपेड है उनको अक्रू हो जाएगा. सर बहुत निटिग्रिटीज हैं, बहुत कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी चाहिए. 30 डेज में यू विल हैव टू ट्रांसफर, you'll have to pay. If you're not paying, first thing that will happen is 18% per annum की penalty. ठीक है. After that, within 7 days you will have to transfer to UDA account. अगर आप नहीं ट्रांसफर कर रहे हो तो यहाँ पे आपको 12% पर एनम की पेनल्टी. ऐसा हो सकता है कि शुभम सिंघल को ये 18% का भी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है, शुभम सिंघल को ये 12% का भी बेनिफिट मिल रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि दोनों में गलती कंपनी की है. कंपनी इज नॉट मेकिंग द पेमेंट टू शुभम सिंघल. ठीक है. बट अगर शुभम सिंघल की गलती है, ही इज नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग द बैंक अकाउंट डिटेल ओनली, शुभम इज नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग द एड्रेस ओनली. शुभम इज सेइंग बॉस योर रजिस्टर्ड एड्रेस इज मुंबई, डोंट सेंड देयर, आई डोंट लिव देयर एनीमोर, सो वेयर डू यू लिव, आई विल नॉट से. अरे तो व्हाट विल आई डू, पड़े रहो फिर, यू आर नॉट क्लेमिंग योर डिविडेंड. नाउ after the 7 days, you know that within 90 days you will have to prepare a statement and you'll have to upload it on the website. But sir, after you listen to me very carefully, after you transfer this amount here to unpaid dividend account, you will keep this amount in your unpaid dividend account for 7 years. For how long will you keep this money? You will keep this money in your unpaid dividend account for 7 years. Any person claiming this money can come to the company and ask for their share of dividend. कि भाई मेरा डिविडेंड है, मेरे को दे दो. और जब आप डिविडेंड दोगे ना, जब आप डिविडेंड दोगे इस 7 साल में, तो 380 रुपए डिविडेंड का तो दोगे ही दोगे, साथ में जो आपको ये इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है ना यहाँ पे यूडीए अकाउंट में, वॉट एवर इंटरेस्ट यू आर अर्निंग, दैट इंटरेस्ट ऑल्सो यू विल गिव अलॉन्ग विद दिस 380 रुपीज टू शुभम सिंघल. सो प्रपोर्शनेटली you'll give that interest. Now sir, what next? Now the point is that even after the expiry of the 7 years, the dividend was not paid. What will happen? This amount will then go to your IEPF account, which is Investor Education Protection Account. And what amount will go, sir? What amount will go? Will this 10 crore? So यहाँ पे आपको अगर ध्यान होगा तो मैंने बोला 10.6 crore. 10.6 crore will get 10 crore. Let's say 10 crore. कोई डिफॉल्ट नहीं है. लेट्स से 10 करोड़ विल गो टू दिस पर्टिकुलर ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर डे अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट में 10 करोड़ आपने डाल दिया जो अनपेड था. अब ये 10 करोड़ में इंटरेस्ट मिलता जाएगा हर साल हर साल हर साल, और 7 साल में मान लो इंटरेस्ट मिल करके 10 करोड़ हो गया 18 करोड़. दिस 10 करोड़ बिकेम 18 करोड़. So this whole 18 crore will now be deposited to IEPF, Investor Education Protection Fund. So along with interest, the amount will go to IEPF because company का पैसा नहीं है भाई. और दुनिया में, पूरे इंडिया में जहां कहीं भी पैसा किसी और का नहीं है ना, वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का है. ये तुम नियम बना लो. जो किसी और का है उसको, वो तो है ही सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का इनकम टैक्स के नाम पे, बट जो नहीं है किसी और का, वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का है. सो दिस मनी इज नॉट ऑफ कंपनी एंड इवन द शेयर होल्डर इज नॉट कमिंग एंड क्लेमिंग. सो यू विल ट्रांसफर दिस मनी टू द इन्वेस्टर एजुकेशन प्रोटेक्शन अमाउंट. सर व्हेन अ कंपनी goes to transfer this IEPF में 18 करोड़ ना, what it will do is it will file a statement. कि भैया इसमें शुभम सिंघल का कितना अमाउंट है, 380 रुपए, उसमें इंटरेस्ट कितना है और टोटल अमाउंट कितना है, और ऐसे कितने सारे शेयर होल्डर है, टोटल पूरा यू विल हैव टू गिव अ ब्रेकअप ऑफ दिस 10 crore and 18 crore. Now this company will make the statement and file with IEPF. And once you make the payment of 18 crore to IEPF will issue a receipt saying that yes boss, we have received your money and we have your money. Now if a shareholder further has to go and claim his dividend, he can go and claim it with IEPF. Sir, हो मेरे साथ? गाइस एक लेवल अप कॉन्सेप्ट बताऊं क्या? कैन आई टेल यू समथिंग? लॉ ऑल्सो सेज दैट, आई टेल यू समथिंग, ओके, लिसन टू मी वेरी केयरफुली. लॉ ऑल्सो सेज दैट if there is a share, okay, for example Shubham Singhal holds, in case of HUL let's talk, if Shubham Singhal holds 20 shares of HUL, now if there are shares in which dividend for 7 consecutive years is not claimed, मतलब क्या सर? If there is a share in which dividend for 7 consecutive years has not been claimed. मतलब क्या, ये जो शेयर है ना, इसका फाइनेंशियल ईयर 21-22 में डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर हुआ था, क्लेम नहीं हुआ, फिर वो करते करते आईपीएफ में चला गया, फिर सेम फॉर 22, 23, 23, 24, सिमिलरली 7 साल तक अगर कोई शेयर है ना जिसका डिविडेंड क्लेम नहीं होता है, तो मोर लाइकली देन नॉट द शेयर होल्डर डज नॉट एक्सिस्ट. तो इन दैट केस not only will the dividend but also the shares will get transferred to IEPF. क्या बोला सर आपने? If there is a share in which dividend for 7 consecutive years have not been paid, in that case these shares will also get transferred to IEPF. ये shares भी IEPF के पास चला जाएगा. वो शेयर्स जो है, सिर्फ डिविडेंड नहीं सर, शेयर्स मतलब जो 20 शेयर है ना मेरे, वो आईपीएफ के अकाउंट में चले जाएंगे. मतलब आईईपीएफ विल बिकम द बेनिफिशियल ओनर ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर शेयर. तो कल को अगर वो शेयर बिका, उससे पैसे आए, तो वो पैसे आईपीएफ के हो जाएंगे. हालांकि मैं बाद में जाके आईपीएफ से क्लेम कर सकता हूं कि आईपीएफ ये जो शेयर है ना ये मेरा है, पर वो जो 7 साल के बाद ना आईपीएफ को शेयर्स भी चले जाते हैं. तो सर 7 कॉन्जिक्यूटिव ईयर्स, बट सर 7 कॉन्जिक्यूटिव लिखा है, कॉन्जिक्यूटिव ईयर मतलब लगातार. पर अगर बीच में एक भी साल ऐसा हुआ जब मान लो डिविडेंड पे हो गया या क्लेम हो गया, मतलब मेरे जो शेयर्स हैं उसका डिविडेंड सक्सेसफुली पे हो गया या क्लेम हो गया, ऐसा एक भी साल अगर निकल करके आया ना, तो ये प्रोविजन एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. प्रोविजन ये है सर, आईपीएफ में अनपेड डिविडेंड अकाउंट का पैसा तो जाता ही है 7 साल बाद, लेकिन अगर कोई ऐसा शेयर है जिसमें 7 कॉन्जिक्यूटिव ईयर्स तक अगर डिविडेंड पे या क्लेम नहीं हुआ है, तो वो शेयर अपने आप में उठ करके इट विल गेट ट्रांसफर टू आईपीएफ. द शेयर इटसेल्फ विल बी ट्रांसफर टू आईपीएफ. Please note, we are talking about the share itself. But however, later on, if my shares went to IPF, I can go and always claim my shares back because this is my share give back, but it will not be with the company at least. Okay. Sir, these are the broad provisions of your unpaid dividend account. You have to remember these provisions and you will have to see what all is happening. Please note that I'll tell you once. एक last time मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. Final gist. Just is 5 दिन में separate bank account खोलो. 30 days mein you will have to do what? You'll have to make the payment. If you don't make the payment, if you intentionally hold the payment, you'll have to pay 18% per annum. After that, within 7 days, what you'll have to do is you'll have to transfer to unpaid dividend account. If you don't transfer to unpaid dividend account, you'll get 12% per annum. And then after you transfer it to your unpaid dividend account, within 90 days, you will have to publish it on the website. 90 days from when, sir? 90 days from date of transfer. Okay. Similarly, within 7 years, you will have to transfer it to IEPF account. When you go to IEPF, now you'll have to prepare a statement and submit it with IEPF, and IEPF will give you a receipt of payment. After you transfer it with IEPF, you can always go and claim directly from the IEPF. अगर कोई शेयर होल्डर है वो जाकर के डायरेक्टली क्लेम करेगा IEPF से. बस इतने ही पॉइंट्स हैं सर, उससे ज्यादा कुछ पॉइंट्स ही नहीं है. और आप अगर उसके पहले अगर यहाँ पे क्लेम करना है तो आप जाकर के कंपनी से क्लेम करते हो. बस दैट्स इट. आई थिंक दैट्स इट फ्रॉम माई एंड फॉर टुडे. I feel that's it from my end for today. We have studied so much. We have studied so much. We have studied so much. I have already shared my notes with you. Okay. I have already shared my notes with you. Sir, I have already shared my notes with you. I think there is some issue. So we will end the lecture and I will see you day after tomorrow, which is what? Which is 30th. I'll see you on 30th. Abhi ke liye, I have a request. This is a very important chapter. Please ICAI ke module ka question bank solve kar lo. Actually, let me run you through one question myself. Let me run you through one question bank myself. Ye kya hai? Ye mera website hai. Ye. Sir, can I show you something? This is HUL ka website, huh? In HUL का website, you see there is a section called unclaimed and unpaid dividend. नीचे देखो, to verify details of unpaid and unclaimed amounts lying with the company as on 31st March 2022 and of the shares liable to be transferred to IEPF authority. Shares कौन से liable होते हैं सर ट्रांसफर करने के लिए? जो 7 साल से डिविडेंड क्लेम नहीं किए हैं, due to dividend remaining unpaid for last 7 consecutive years. Click here to know more. Sir, this is a unpaid dividend data. This is not an open data. Okay. What you will have to do is you will have to put depository ID. You'll have to put client ID. You'll have to put PAN number and security code, if any, and you'll get data. Only when you put these data, you will have to put everything. Let's try security code. Ting tang tush tush. अच्छा ठीक है, पता नहीं अब सिक्योरिटी कोड का क्या फॉर्मेट होता है, बट यू विल हैव टू you'll have to basically, you can go to a website and check whether if there is any amount that is pending with HUL which needs to be paid. Okay. Now, this is something which we will discuss in the next class, sir. This is about investor education protection fund that we were talking about. सर इसमें पैसा कहाँ से आता है, पैसे का क्या खर्चा होता है, वो अपन पूरा डिटेल में नेक्स्ट क्लास में पढ़ेंगे आराम से और खत्म करेंगे. आई वांटेड टू रन यू थ्रू आईसीआई के सम क्वेश्चंस. Let's see what questions can you solve today. Yes, we can solve question 3. Question 3 पढ़ो सर. रुक जाओ. Question 3 पढ़ो. Referring to the provisions of the Companies Act, examine the validity of the following. The Board of Directors of ABC Tractor Limited proposes to declare dividend at the rate of 20% to the equity shareholder, despite the fact that company has defaulted in repayment of public deposited accepted before the commencement of this act. अच्छा, ये एक प्रोविजन है जो मैंने आपको नहीं पढ़ाया आज, तो उसके पे क्वेश्चन आ गया. चलो उसको अपन कल करेंगे. आई थिंक आज आपके क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने का दिन नहीं है, बट इफ यू वर टू गो होम एंड सॉल्व, यू कैन डेफिनेटली सॉल्व क्वेश्चन नंबर 2. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 डेफिनेटली सॉल्व कर सकते हो सर. ठीक है, चलो गाइस, we will complete the chapter tomorrow and we will also give it a reading from our notes so that we are able to finish it. But please go home today and read page number 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 ये आप आराम से पढ़ सकते हो. प्लीज जाकर के आज पढ़ लेना. I will see you tomorrow for the remaining portion of the class. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye bye. I'll not be able to take doubt today because I have to go. But आप लोग आराम से पढ़ लो और आपको आज पढ़ के जो भी डाउट्स आएगा वो नोट कर लो. We will take it in tomorrow's class. Okay. I hope that's okay. Please, sir, your this notes is definitely available on your portal. If you want my handwritten notes, let me know. I'll also give you that. But my word ka type note is already available in your ICI ka portal. ठीक है? Chalo guys, thank you. Have a good day. See you. Bye bye. Please be productive. Please take care of your health, and I'll see you day after tomorrow morning, and we will finish this chapter. Thank you. Khuda Hafiz. Bye. हाँ, yes.